Now KYW presents the Philadelphia Phillies pregame show, brought to you by the brokerage firm of Janney Montgomery Scott and by Woolco Department Stores.
Woolco wants to be your favorite store. We want to be. Woolco wants to be your favorite store.
When it comes to keeping beverages hot or cold, Thermos almost invented the process. Thermos invented the vacuum bottle in 1907 and has been improving it ever since. The vacuum bottle isn't the only thing that Thermos is famous for. Thermos makes a full line of coolers and ice chests, too. Right now, Woolco is featuring the coolers in the sizes you want from Thermos. There's the size for your camping, picnics, fishing, or whatever the occasion. Shop Woolco and see the full line of famous Thermos coolers. And remember, Woolco also carries a full line of Thermos vacuum bottles, too. Woolco offers you top-quality name brands like Thermos at low, low prices because we want to be your favorite store.
We want to be. Woolco wants to be your favorite store. We want to be. Woolco wants to be your favorite store.
Hi, everybody. From Veterans Stadium, Harry Callis with you. Where this afternoon the Phillies wrap up their series with the Montreal Expos. It'll be Steve Carlton going against Stan Schatzeder. And it'll be the final game before the All-Star break and the midway point of the season, game number 81 for the Phillies today. And, Danny, going into the All-Star break, you're going to be in first place in National League East by no less than 3.5 games. And are you pleased with the first half?
Well, I'm definitely pleased with Harry, the way things have been going because of injuries, because of the kind of scheduling he had, because of the lack of defense at one time. The lack of hitting at another time, and actually the only good thing we had going for us probably throughout the whole year has been pretty good pitching by the bullpen and by the starting pitching. Right now, our guys are pretty tired. I had to use a lot of relief pitchers, even though they're really tired, and they went there and did a job, and I'm all kind of scared to bring those guys in there because we still have 81 more games to go after today, and you want to keep those guys healthy as long as you can, and hopefully without injury to them, especially coming up the second half where we have so many doubleheaders. So it's going to be a hectic second half for us, but Schmidt will be back. I'm sure he'll be sound, and getting him back, and hopefully he can start hitting a little bit better than he has. He's still leading the club in runs, and that's pretty good because he has missed quite a few ball games. But anytime you cross home plate, you're still having a pretty good year.
I guess at the outset, I even forgot to introduce you, assuming that everybody knows you were talking to Phillies manager Danny Ozark, talking about the bullpen. You used pitchers last night. I know you didn't particularly want to use in that ball game. How about this afternoon? Now, you've used Ron Reed in both games. Looked like he would be out for today. Who do you have, Eastwick?
Well, Eastwick's available. Dick Ruthven will be okay. I can use him even though he's a starting pitcher, but he's gone through this before where he can come in the ball game. I'd like to start him off in an inning if I possibly have to. I think Brewster can come back and pitch maybe an inning or get out of an inning for me, so he'll be okay. And Tug should be okay for another inning or so. I don't think he can go more than 2 probably, but we've got a lefty going, and we're just hoping the lefty pitches one of his good ball games, and he's due to pitch one, and he's pitched quite well against the Montreal club and other right-handed hitting clubs like the Montreal club has.
Danny, I notice you do not have Davey Johnson in the lineup this afternoon. Generally, he plays against left-hand pitching, especially with Mike Schmidt out. Is Davey injured?
Well, Davey got hit with that foul tip yesterday. The one he fouled off his left foot, I believe it was, and he's been limping around ever since that game yesterday. After the first game, I couldn't have even used him as a pinch hitter yesterday. He couldn't have ran at all. So he'll undoubtedly be out. If it's going to be a last resort if I have to use him. But we still have Bobby Boone sitting there, and I can play him at third base if I have to in case something does happen. Bobby's played there before, and I can possibly put him at first base. But third base would be the only position I think that we might be a little vulnerable with today. Richie's okay, I mean, as far as his health is concerned and everything, but if I should need a pinch hitter and make a double change because of using maybe a Ruthven where I can pitch him 3 or 4 innings, then I would have to do that. But other than that, we complain about injuries, but our guys are really doing a heck of a job. I think the fans and certainly myself, I'm proud of the guys because they have gone out there and played very well. Gary Maddox is gimping a little bit, but he got 3 base hits, and when he has to run, he runs pretty good, but he's not feeling well, and they go out there with good spirits and want to play and want to win. And I think this is the great thing about this club, that a lot of guys are contributing, not only off the bench, but guys that are playing every day. And it's just a great asset to have a bunch of guys like this.
Jake McBride also has been playing, and it looks to me like he's still bothered by that ankle.
He definitely is. He can't really pivot well on his right leg, where his ankle has been swollen quite a bit. And he's been striking out, as you know, quite a bit. And this is one of the reasons why. He just can't get off that leg and pivot on it and extend his arms and get his hips out of the way. So he's kind of slapping the ball around, and he's playing on guts alone. And he never wants to say, I can't play. He goes out there and does the best he can. And when I have the opportunity to take him out, I do. But the way our outfield is right now, it's pretty difficult to say who's going to play and who's not. Yesterday, Greg got hit in the calf of his leg with the pitch ball, and he's gimping a little bit too, but Greg doesn't have to do too much running as long as he swings the bat.
Danny, I guess your All-Star break is pretty well mapped out for you. You're going to be one of the coaches for the All-Star team?
Yes, Harry, I'm going to go to San Diego along with Larry Bow and Bobby Boone and Greg Luzinski and Bobby Wine, and we're going to leave about 6:15 this afternoon. Hopefully the game will be over then, and we win the ball game. It'll be a lot better trip for us when we get out there, and it'll be nice to be among all those ball players that are so-called superstars, and it's going to be a great game. I think it's still something that a lot of the guys like to play in, and I believe that guys like Larry Bow, who really deserve it, Greg Luzinski, Bobby Boone, and the only thing that bothers me a little bit is Gary Maddox didn't make it, but it's one of those selections that you can't select everybody, but I've talked to Gary, and Paul has talked to Gary about it, and we know he's a super outstanding outfielder, and he's having a good year with the bat, but maybe next year, hopefully we win the World Series and everything else. Gary will be on that team.
Danny, thanks ever so much. Very best to you.
Thanks, Harry.
Danny Ozark, our guest. All of our guests on the pregame show receive a beautiful Seiko watch from the Seiko collection and gimbals. We'll be back with a final word right after this.
The problem with most investments is that you have to share the income from them with Uncle Sam. And often Uncle Sam's cut is almost as big as your own. That's not only unfair, it's unnecessary. Janney Montgomery Scott, one of the area's largest regional brokerage firms, has been helping investors reduce tax payments and increase investment income for more than 7 generations. And Janney has more ways to help you now than ever before. Here's just one example. Municipal bonds, free of federal tax. If you file a joint return and have an adjusted gross income of $24,000 or more, you'll receive more spendable income from a 6% tax-free municipal bond than you would from a 9% taxable investment. If you want to protect your investment income from taxes and inflation, call Janney Montgomery Scott. They're in the yellow pages under stockbrokers. Now, Janney can help you get a better outcome from your income.
Back at Veterans Stadium, stay tuned for the ball game now. The Phillies and the Montreal Expos. It'll be Steve Carlton against Stan Schatzeder. All the action coming your way in just a couple of minutes.
See if the Phillies can win this final game before the All-Star break. All-Star break? Would you believe we're getting ready for football? And that's right, the Eagles opening their training camp down at Widener in Chester this afternoon. 80 players undergoing physicals, getting their equipment today. Then tomorrow, they begin their workouts. The club is playing its first exhibition football game in less than a month. They'll be taking on the Miami Dolphins in the Hall of Fame game up in Canton, Ohio on July 29th. Family Day at Brandywine tonight. They're calling it the Father and Son Championship. Billy Houghton and son Peter will be racing against Stanley Dancer and his son Ronnie, Del Cameron, and his 2 sons Warren and Gary and the others. Post time is 8 o'clock tonight. In golf, Bob Lund, Lee Elder share a 1-stroke lead going into today's final round of the Greater Milwaukee Open. Lee Trevino, John Mahaffey, Art McNichol are shot off the pace at 2:07. And Jane Blaglock has a 7-stroke lead going into the final round of the Wheeling LPGA Classic down in West Virginia. Sandra Post is her nearest competitor. KYW News Time 1:30. This is KYW 1060 Philadelphia News Radio in the Delaware Valley.
Good afternoon, everyone. From Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the wind-up of this 5-game weekend series between the Phils and the Montreal Expos. I'm Andy Musser along with Chris Wheeler. Rich Ashburn and Harry Callis will join us later in the afternoon on the radio broadcast. Well, we've got a great day here for baseball. It's kind of warm and humid, just the kind of weather the players like. It'll be hot on the AstroTurf. And this is the final game for both teams prior to the National League and American League meeting in the All-Star game Tuesday night in San Diego. The umpires are heading toward home plate. They'll be handed the lineups by the two teams involved today, who will send Larry Christensen, or check that, Steve Carlton to the mound for the Phillies this afternoon. Lefty getting the last start before the All-Star break. And for Montreal, a left-hander who pitched pretty good against the Phillies last time, Chris, Dan Schatzeder. He pitched 6 shutout innings against the Phils in Montreal.
Yeah, he did pitch well that night, and the Phillies were having a tough time with him. They really got a break when Dick Williams took him out after 6th inning. And the reason, the Phillies say that he throws the ball well. He has kind of a short arm delivery, and he looks like he's not throwing very hard, but he does throw pretty hard, and the ball gets on the hitter pretty quick, and he had good control. And to a man, the Phillies players were very impressed with him last time.
Norm Sherry and Bobby Wine have presented the lineups. It's going to be Carlton against Schatzeder when we return. We'll have the lineups in just a moment.
Receive a $50 replacement allowance direct from General Electric when you replace your old washer with a GE large capacity washer, model WWA 8450V or WWA 8500V. Buy a GE no-frost refrigerator, model TV FM 18VW, and get a built-in automatic ice maker at no extra charge. Offer good now through August 31st.
Available at Home Appliance Center, 95 East Lancaster Avenue in Paoli.
How can I be the life of my party when I have to prepare a party for 20?
Order a party platter from the Corner Deli at Acme Super Saver. A platter of quality meats, cheeses, salads, breads, and pickles, sliced fresh, beautifully decorated, and Acme does all the work. And we'll whip up a platter for your next party in only 24 hours.
No one makes spicy Italian heroes like my Aunt Rosa.
Order the Italian treat platter. A spicy variety of Genoa salami, ham, capicola, pepperoni, provolone cheese, macaroni and potato salads, pickles and hero rolls, all fresh and ready to serve. Your aunt can make a different hero for everyone.
If it's this easy, how about a party for 200?
Every platter, the deluxe, economy, delight, international, or Italian, will be made fresh within 24 hours with a delightfully different array of meats, breads, cheeses, and salads. We do the work, you'll be the hero.
I'm the life of my party.
Party platters. You'll find them fresh at the Corner Deli at Acme Super Saver.
Warren 16 card and gift shops have gifts galore for every member of the family. Boy or girl, mom or dad, grandparents, an uncle or an aunt. And all gifts wrapped free at Warren's, where shopping is a pleasure. Warren's has a complete line of Hallmark cards, Hummel figurines, Monet costume jewelry, a wide assortment of copper, brass, and fine wood products. We have a trinket or a treasure for anyone at the wonderful world of Warren's. Visit our Warren's card and gift shop in the Norco Mall, Pottstown.
back at Veterans Stadium. The national anthem sung by Phillies usher at Chris Wright. Here are the starting lineups for this afternoon for the Montreal Expos. Dave Cash will lead off and play second base. Andre Dawson, the center fielder, hitting number 2. Ellis Valentine will be in right field. He'll hit number 3. Tony Perez, the first baseman, batting 4th. Barry Parrish will be at third base. He'll hit number 5. Warren Cromartie in left field, hitting number 6. Gary Carter, the catcher, batting 7th. Chris Spire will be at shortstop. He'll hit number 8. And the pitcher will be left-hander Dan Schatzeder. For the Philadelphia Phillies, Jerry Martin leads off and plays right field. Larry Bowa, the shortstop, batting 2nd. Gary Maddox in center field. He'll hit number 3. Greg Luzinski in left field, batting 4th. Jose Cardinal will play first base and hit number 5. Richie Hebner, the third baseman, batting 6th. Tim McCarver, the catcher, he'll hit number 7. Ted Sizemore will be at second base. He'll hit number 8. Phillies pitcher this afternoon is left-hander Steve Carlton.
This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Phillies solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Phillies is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are retained by WPHL-TV, subject to the approval of the Phillies, except for Chris Wheeler. He's employed by the Phillies. Again, we're working with 3 umpires today. Doug Harvey will call balls and strikes. Andy Olson at first, Jerry Crawford at third, Eddie Vargo home due to family illness. During this afternoon's Phillies game, each Philly that homers receives a free case of Tasty Cake and one for St. Luke's and Children's Medical Center. The same goes for the Phillies' winning pitcher. And now you can win even more money in the Daily News home run payoff because now every hit pays off. This afternoon's payoff inning will be the 5th. Dave Cash getting set to lead it off, the final game before the All-Star break. 2 of the Montreal pitchers are heading for San Diego. That would be Steve Rogers and Ross Grimsley. And, of course, 3 of the Phillies players will be out in San Diego, 2 of them starting, Larry Bowa and Greg Luzinski, with Bob Boone in reserve. Steve Carlton swings into the windup, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's high and inside, ball 1. Cash is hitting at .268. Norm Sherry coaches third, Billy Gardner at first for the Expos. Here's a strike called on a fastball. 1-on-1 to Cash, who has yet to get a hit this year against Carlton. 0 for 6. Cash takes a curveball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Carlton getting his 19th start. He has pitched 5 complete games, including 1 shutout. He has lost twice to the Expos this year. Cash swings and sends a long drive deep to left field. Luzinski watches. That ball sails on out of here. Dave Cash has hit his 2nd home run of the year, and the Expos jump out to a 1-0 start.
Well, Dave Cash doesn't hit a whole lot of home runs, number 2 on the year, but he hit that one about as hard as he'll hit one. It hit well up on the tarp there out in the bullpen. He got a pitch that was in on him from Steve Carlton and rode it out of here.
The 13th home run given up by Carlton, and he leads the Phillies staff in that department. An immediate 1-0 Montreal lead, and here is Andre Dawson. RBI number 20 for Cash. Dawson, a right-handed batter, hitting at .238. The windup by Steve, and the pitch is up high, ball 1. Carlton has had 2 straight no decisions, which is very rare for Steve because he almost always gets either a victory or a defeat when he goes out there. Here's a swing and a miss on a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dawson. Andre batting in the number 2 spot for his first series this year. Left-hander winds. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Dawson. Straight back on a foul ball. Now, this is cap day here at Veterans Stadium, and all the youngsters 14 and under be decked in a new style Phillies cap. 1-2 count to Dawson, the Expos center fielder. Montreal with a great young outfield that should be together for a long time. Here's a breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. Carlton has lost games to Wayne Twitchell and Steve Rogers. Lefty winds, the 2-2 pitch to Dawson. Breaking ball, swing and a foul. 2-2. Dawson has 2 hits and 6 tries against Carlton this year. There will be no games in the National or American Leagues either tomorrow or Wednesday. Breaking ball, tapped toward third base. It's going foul. Dawson just getting a piece of a curveball. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies have an extra day off. They'll be off Thursday as well, and will not play again until Friday night in Atlanta. 2-2 to Dawson, way inside, ball 3. Carlton's last victory came June 22nd against St. Louis. He pitched a complete game and won it 2-1. Here's the windup by Steve and the full count pitch. Fly ball, center field. Gary Maddox headed to his left. Gary gets there for the running catch. Dawson flies out to center, and that's the first out of the inning. It brings up Ellis Valentine. Well, Valentine is leading the Expos in the 3 major hitting categories. His average is .303, and he has 13 home runs and 48 runs driven in. And if he doesn't possess the best throwing arm among outfielders in the National League, then I'd like to hear you name the guy who does. The pitch to him is over for a strike called.
He not only might have the best throwing arm, he's got the most accurate throwing arm for as hard as he throws the ball and as far as he throws it you ever see.
Swing and a foul at the plate. 0-2 on Valentine. And as a result of it, Chris, I think he breaks, quite rightfully so, some of the standard rules of baseball about where you're supposed to throw, because they didn't make those rules for guys who can throw like he can.
He's a great athlete. You know, he's really a good baseball player, Ellis Valentine.
The 0-2 pitch to him. He reaches for a high outside pitch and gives it a long ride to right field. Way back. It is out of here. A home run for Ellis Valentine. He reached way out of the strike zone, but he hit it a mile to right field, and the Expos lead 2-0.
You know, I think Ellis Valentine threw his bat away in disgust that time. He thought that he had hit that ball decent, but not enough to get it out of here. And this place this weekend, it's so hot. It's been like a golf ball driving range almost, the way the ball's carrying. And he hit that ball and flipped his bat towards the Phillies dugout and say, doggone, I almost hit that ball out of here, and it did carry out.
At the plate, Tony Perez. A breaking ball to Tony is over for a called strike. One time last year, the Expos hit 3 home runs in 1 inning off Carlton. Today they have 2. Here's a pitch that misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Home run number 14 for Valentine and his 49th run driven in. The 1-1 pitch. Perez goes for a bad one and fouls it back to the screen. Tony didn't play the second end of last night's doubleheader. Tony getting to the advanced age where he generally plays only 1 game a day. He's 36 years old. Here's the 1-2 to Tony. Curveball and a hard hit ball off the glove of Boa at shortstop, who tried to backhand. It trickles out to left field. And Perez is safe at first base. He will probably get a hit. That's a single for Tony Perez. 3rd hit of the inning for Montreal. That was a real shot. Boa tried to backhand. The crowd booing the fact that it's a hit, but frankly, I thought it should have been. Larry Parrish, the batter. Parrish has been tough on Philadelphia pitching. He's batting .271. Pitch on the way to the right-handed batter, a curveball, high, ball 1. A rocky start for Carlton. It was given up first inning home runs to Cash and Valentine. 1 out in the first. Montreal leading 2-0. Left-hander at the belt. Pitch to Parrish, swing and a miss at a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlton, a 20-game winner in each of the last 2 years, and the Cy Young Award winner last year, bidding for his 9th victory today. Stretch in the 1-1 pitch. Just missed. 2-1. Parrish has 10 home runs and 40 RBIs. Last time the Phillies were in Montreal, there was a time when he was batting .500 against Phillies pitching. Here's a shot to center field. Gary Maddox retreating in a hurry, way back. Gary is there for the catch on the warning track. Parrish hit a ball to center field. It is really carrying here today. But Maddox scrambled back to catch that for out number 2.
This Montreal team is a very, very good team against left-handed pitching. I don't know what their record is, but on paper they would be. They're very, very right-handed. They have a lot of strong right-handed hitters, and any left-handed pitcher could be in for a long day when you play this team, and especially when the ball's carrying like this. And boy, every hitter in this inning so far has hit the ball hard.
Here's their only left-handed batter in the lineup, Warren Cromartie. Expos are 11-9 versus left-handers. You would think it would be better. Cromartie hitting at .264. Breaking ball is outside, ball 1. Cromartie's been tough in this series. He has 2 of his 4 home runs in this 4-game series thus far. Swing and a miss at a curveball way outside. He chased a bad one. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Expos open at home following the All-Star break on Thursday. Here's a fastball, and it's a base hit grounded to right field. Tony Perez holds on at second base. Cromartie singles to right, hit number 4 in the inning for Montreal. Two on and 2 out as Gary Carter comes to the plate. Carter's average a dismal .231, but he's had a good series. And last night in the doubleheader, Carter was 3 out of 6. All extra base hits, a home run, a double, and a triple. Carter has homered twice in the series. Stretched by Carlton, and the pitch backs him off the plate with a fastball, ball 1.
Carlton's having the type of inning you hate to see a pitcher have on a day like this. It's very, very hot, and you like to see a pitcher get through an inning with a minimum number of pitches.
The 1-0 to Carter is a curveball, and it catches the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stretched by the left-hander. Here's the pitch to Carter. Breaking ball is inside. A slider just missing. 2-1. Phillies a little short-handed again today. Barry Foote given permission for the day off again because of illness in his family, and Davey Johnson unable to play because of a sore foot. Here's a hard hit ball, but foul third base side. Johnson fouled one off his foot. And Chris, understand Greg Luzinski, who got hit by a pitcher last night, is hurting a little bit.
Yeah, he's hurting a little bit on his leg down near the ankle where he got hit by a pitch. So the All-Star break is really coming at a good time right now, and give Mike Schmidt a chance to get healthy too, and he'll be able to play later in the week.
Here's the 2-2 to Carter, a curveball grounded foul outside of third. Schmidt probably would be able to play. He has been used as a pinch hitter the last 2 days, and he was out doing some running before the game under the supervision of trainer Don Seeger. And I think come Friday night, Schmidt will be back at third base. A 2-2 count on Gary Carter. 2 outs in the inning. Here's the pitch to Gary, and it's popped up. It's in foul ground. Hebner, shading his eyes, is halfway. He lost it. Lost the ball in the sun. It bounded on the warning track. It was very catchable, but Hebner gave up on it because he did not see it.
That's exactly what happened. The ball got up into the sun, and he just lost it. Larry Bowe, I don't think he saw it either, and I think he was hoping that Hebner had the ball, and neither one of them caught it.
The ball landed about 10 feet shy of the fence. It could have been caught had anybody been able to pick it up. So Carter gets a new life. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gary. He had gone back to the dugout. He was sure he was retired. Carlton stretches. Here's the 2-2 to Carter. A fastball is high, a full count. Warren Brewster is up and throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Runners going, and a throw to first base. Cardinal, and they're chasing the runner back onto first, and the tag is made. That was a dangerous play because Perez might have come around to score had they not gotten the run down on Cromartie, which they did. For the Expos, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 man left on base. At the end of a half inning, Montreal 2, Phils coming up.
Right now, MAB is offering you a chance to buy the Phillies Way souvenir book for just $1.49. This colorful book features playing tips from your favorite Phillies, plus a complete set of Phillies baseball cards. Think of it, the entire Phillies team all under one cover. Just try to match that with regular baseball cards. And when you visit your MAB paint store, dealer, or Rich Lux Home Center, you will get more years per gallon of the MAB Seashore House paint. You can't buy better paint. The Phillies in MAB, great in 78.
They're waiting for you now at the sign of the cat. The 1978 Mercury Monarch 2- and 4-door sedans. Cars in tune with today. Mercury Monarch. A touch of class in a precision-sized car with room for 5. Designed for American drivers on American roads. Monarch boasts such standard features as a 4.1-liter 6 engine, 4-speed manual overdrive transmission, front discs, and a whole lot more to help make Monarch the value car it is. If Monarch sounds like your kind of car, now's the time to see your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Hey, Culligan man.
Families about to buy a water softener should check into Culligan's new Aqua Sensor, the conservation water softener. Aqua Sensor is a Culligan exclusive. It's years ahead. Aqua Sensor checks on water hardness electronically, so it recharges automatically only when necessary and only at night. It saves on water, energy, and salt. Interested in savings and quality, too? Call your local Culligan man. Ask about his Aqua Sensor, the conservation softener. Culligan is in the white pages under C for Culligan. Today's winner in the Geno's Hotline contest was Josh Wasaki of Marlton, New Jersey. He talked with Larry Boa prior to the ball game. Phillies starting their half of the first inning down by a couple of runs. On first inning homers by the Expos by Dave Cash and Ellis Valentine. Jerry Martin will lead it off for the Phillies. Martin, Boa, and Maddox to face Dan Schatzeder, left-hander, who is getting his third straight start after making 11 relief appearances. He pitched a good ball game against the Phillies June 28th at Montreal. He went through 6 innings, giving up no runs and only 5 hits. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Right-handed batting Jerry Martin, hitting at .294. Billy DeMar is at third. Tony Taylor coaches at first. Schatzeder's first pitch is foul back, a strike. Spells his name S-C-H-A-T-Z-E-D-E-R. We first called him Schatzeder, then we refined it to Schatzeder, and now we understand it is Schatzeder. You got that? Nope. Here's the 1-strike pitch on Martin. Breaking ball, and it's skied to right field. Valentine a little trouble picking it up. Now he has it, and he makes the catch for the out. Martin flies out to right. That's 1 down. And here's the all-star shortstop, Larry Boa, hitting at .305. I know Larry would like to come through with at least 1 hit today to make certain that average is over the 300 mark when it is announced by Howard Cosell and Company Tuesday night. Larry batting right-handed. Here's Schatzeder's pitch, and it's a fly ball center field. No trouble for Dawson. A few steps toward left center, and he takes it for the out. Boa flies out on 1 pitch. That's 2 down. And the batter will be Gary Maddox. The Phillies reach the halfway point in their season today. This is game number 81. They have won 46, and they have lost 34. They start play today with a 4.5 game lead over the Chicago Cubs.
Turns out to be that way. The exact halfway point, which is rare anymore around All-Star time, and it wouldn't have been the exact halfway point, except there have been a few rainouts that the Phillies are going to have to make up later in the year.
The pitch to Maddox. He bluffs a bunt. It's a called strike. Gary batting at .302. He leads Philly batters against Montreal pitching with 13 hits. The Expos had played their 81st game prior to the start of this series. Breaking ball to Maddox is high. In other words, their first game here Thursday night was their 82nd of the year. Here's Schatzeder's 1-1 pitch to Maddox, a fastball very high, 2-1 the count. Gary leads the Phillies in stolen bases with 21. He also leads the team in doubles with 15. Here's a foul back to the upper deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Maddox, batting with 2 down, nobody on. Phillies first, and Montreal leads it 2-0. The pitch to Gary, breaking ball inside, full count. Well, I guess it'll be Steve Carlton against Phil Niekro Friday night in Atlanta. If you had to take a guess, with 4 days off between now and then, that's probably how it'll go. Here's the 3-2 to Maddox. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and the inning is over. Phil's retired in order in the first. At the end of 1, Montreal 2, Phil's nothing. Now time for a tasty break.
Tasty cake is a day in spring, a brand new love or a golden ring. Tasty cake is the morning sun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one. Tasty cake is the deep in the sea, the softest thing for you and me. Tasty cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
There's only one fever just about everyone in Philadelphia wants to catch, and that's Phillies fever. Just like there's only one packaged cake Philadelphians want too, Tasty Cake. Like the fresh-baked taste of Tasty Cake chocolate creamies. 2 delicious layers of moist chocolate cake filled with tasty vanilla cream. You couldn't ask for a more mouth-watering treat. So ask for family packs of Tasty Cake Chocolate Creamies. They're all the good things wrapped up in one.
Following the All-Star break, the Phillies make a quick trip to Atlanta and Houston. Then it's back to the vet for 12 games with 4 different teams. July 19th and 20th, Cincinnati Reds. Wednesday and Thursday nights game time at 7:35. July 21st, a make-up twilight doubleheader with the Houston Astros. That'll begin at 5:35. Saturday, July 22nd, a night game with Houston at 7:35. And July 23rd, Poncho Day. Free Phillies ponchos to all kids 14 or under. The Phillies and the Astros at 7:35. Here's Gary Carter, who is at the plate when Carlton picked off Warren Cromartie to end the first inning. Carlton's first pitch is a curveball, foul back, strike one.
We get a chance to talk about that play because the inning ended on it, but Carlton has been doing that since he's been with the Phillies. Throw over there like that with 3-2 and 2 outs when he knows the runners are going, and it's never worked before. And that time he just happened to get the Expo runners in full flight and really helped himself out of a big jam.
So now he faces Carter with the bases empty instead of 2 men on. He misses inside on a slider, 1 ball and 1 strike. Carter hitting .231. Carter, Spire, Schatzeder to bat for the Expos in the second. This one is popped back foul into the crowd. A ball and 2 strikes on Gary Carter. We'll pause for station identification along the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. Here at 2 o'clock, AccuWeather says mostly sunny and humid this afternoon. High near 90. Fair tonight, low about 70.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count on catcher Gary Carter. Left-hander winds, and here's the pitch. Another foul, pop back into the crowd. We've got another big crowd here today, not as big as the last couple of nights. We had 50,098 here last night for the twilight doubleheader. The second 50,000-plus crowd in this series. Next pitch on the way by Carlton, and Carter backs away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies have a chance to set an attendance record for this series. Phils and the Pirates drew 178,585 in a 5-game, 4-day series back in '76. Swinging a foul ball. And the Expos and the Phils have 145,440 coming into this one this afternoon. Two balls and 2 strikes on Gary Carter. Here's the next pitch. Breaking ball, grounded foul past third. Well, who all is going to the All-Star break from the Phillies party? I know Executive Vice President Bill Giles is going out. Anybody else?
That is it. Bill Giles will be the only front office person that I've heard is going out there, along with the players, and Ozark and Bobby Wine.
Carlton winds the 2-2 pitch to Carter. Ball hit well deep to left field. Luzinski back on the track. Home run for Gary Carter, and that's a good example of why Carlton didn't want to face him with 2 men on base. Montreal leads 3-0. Anything hit hard has a chance here today with this warm, humid weather at Veterans Stadium, and that's number 9 for Carter and his 3rd in this series.
He really started to get his act together this weekend. Gary Carter has not been swinging the bat. I think he hadn't hit a home run in 6 weeks before coming in here. And this ballpark can get a lot of hitters healthy, and he's hit 3 this weekend. And the Montreal Expos are really hitting Steve Carlton.
Chris Spire, the batter, and he takes a strike call. Again, Warren Brewster gets up in the Phillies bullpen. That's the 3rd home run for the Expos. Carlton has now given up 15 dingers. Breaking ball low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 bases empty home run by Expo hitters today. Cash, Valentine, and Carter. Swinging a fly ball to right field. This one is not deep. Coming on is right fielder Jerry Martin, and he grabs it for the out. Spire flies out to Martin. That's the first out of the inning. And the pitcher, Dan Schatzeder, will bat. He is a left-handed hitter. Schatzeder batting at .222, 2 hits and 9 tries. Pitch to the left-handed batter, a fastball high, ball 1. Carlton winds. Here's the next pitch, nubbed off the end of the bat, foul toward third. This is the first time this year that Carlton has given up more than 2 home runs in a game, and he did that just once. McCovey and Evans homered off him in a June 5th ball game, but Carlton beat Vida Blue in that ball game 4-3. Schatzeder takes outside. 2-1 the count. Otherwise, there has never been more than 1 homer hit off lefty in any game this year. Swinging a foul straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dan Schatzeder, Montreal pitcher. And his heavy-hitting batting attack has staked him to a 3-0 start. 2-2 pitch is punched foul over top the Montreal dugout into the crowd. Here's a line drive foul down the left field side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alan Ripley will pitch for Boston today against Rick Wise at Cleveland. The only pitchers posted in the American League, and there's nothing up yet in the National League. Swing and a miss. Schatzeder strikes out. Out number 2 in the inning, the first strikeout for Carlton. And Dave Cash will come to the plate. Cash lined a home run to left field in his first at-bat, his second round tripper of the year. Well, Cash still makes his home in the area, and it's been a good vacation for David, who lives in Cherry Hill. He's been home all week, and now he'll be able to spend a few more days here. High ball 1. The same is true for the Montreal pitching coach, or not pitching coach, but hitting coach, Mickey Vernon, who makes his home in the area. The 1-0 to Cash is a fastball high, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch to Cash, high ball 3. Carlton falls behind Cash, 3-0. Here's the pitch. A strike. Three-1 pitch on the way to Cash. Strike 2 call right at the letters. Cash thought it was high. Carlton with a full count on Dave Cash. 2 out, bases empty for the Expos. A run in. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a curveball. So the inning is over. The Expos get a run on Carter's solo homer. 1 hit, nobody left. At the end of an inning and a half, Montreal 3, Phillies nothing.
Chrysler LeBaron's a good combination. It's a car sized for today's living, yet loaded with luxury. It gives you your money's worth of sensibly sized style. And your choice of 3 models, a young stylish 2-door, a classic 4-door, and the new LeBaron Town & Country wagon. The difference between this wagon and any other is luxury. Why drive a car that doesn't feel great? Why not get your money's worth of style and luxury? When LeBaron gives you all this, why settle for anything less? See it at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. When you're big Budweiser, you get it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Phillies second inning, and the Expos lead at 3-0. We've just been given a release. National League President Chub Feeney today granted a request from Reds catcher Johnny Bench to be removed from the National League All-Star squad. The 30-year-old Bench has seen limited action over the last 6 weeks because of a back injury. He had been elected to the starting team in the voting by the fans. Feeney said a replacement for Bench will be announced later today. The National League has 2 other catchers on the squad for Tuesday night's ball game, Ted Simmons of the Cards and our own Bob Boone. So maybe there's a chance for Gary Maddox to make that team yet. You never know. They'll be looking for a center fielder to patrol the wide-open pastures of big, huge San Diego Stadium. Who better than Gary Lee Maddox? Here's Greg Luzinski to start the second inning. Greg batting at .242 and leading the league in homers with 21. First pitch from Schatzeder is high, ball 1.
It would be nice to see Gary make that club. The only thing that comes to my mind, though, is that they're going to need another catcher probably.
The 1-0 pitch is pop foul out of play. And when you stop to think about it, Chris, I don't believe there's another catcher in the National League who is having an outstanding year. Yeager was way up in the voting, but he could not be considered, I don't think. The 1-1 pitch to Luzinski. Here's a shot into left center field. It's good for extra bases. It one-hops up against the wall. Greg Luzinski heading for second, and he makes it standing up with a double. Hit number one for the Phillies, a double for Luzinski, as the Phillies trail this ball game 3-0.
Well, this day has all the indications that it should not be a pitcher's day. We talked about how warm it is here at Veterans Stadium, the way the ball's carrying, and just a terrific day to hit and not an awful day to pitch.
Jose Cardinal, right-handed batter, hitting .294. Here's the stretch by Schatzeder. Pitch on the way is high, 1 ball. This pitcher is still only 23 years of age. Officially a rookie, he spent 33 days in the majors last year. He has a degree in business administration from the University of Denver. The 1-0 pitch to Cardinal, swinging a foul to the screen. Schatzeder is 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, from Elmhurst, Illinois. He has a kind of a short arm motion, but he can throw the ball pretty hard. One ball and 1 strike on Jose Cardinal. Tell you who really suffers on a day like this is the Philly fanatic. Got to be unbelievable inside that uniform today, and I think he is going to curtail his activities just a little. Schatzeder at the belt. And the 2-1 pitch to Cardinal. Line drive, left field, base hit, fair into the corner. Luzinski will be waved around. He'll score easily. Cardinal on his way to second with a stand-up double, and the Expos lead 3-1. Back-to-back doubles by Luzinski and Cardinal produce a run. Jose's 23rd run batted in, and the Expo lead back to 2.
Phillies team up with Jose Cardinal over the winter, and another one of Paul Owens with real good deals, and he was supposed to be a fill-in player. And because of all the injuries and problems the Phillies have had the last couple of weeks, he's become a regular, and he does a super job for the Phillies. He's really a good hitter.
Well, here's Richie Hebner, who has not seen that many left-handers this year, Hebner being platooned the majority of the time, but Hebner needed as a third baseman today because of the injury to Davey Johnson. So here's Rich at the plate, and the pitch to him is outside a ball. Hebner, however, has handled left-handed pitching very well this year. He's batting .333 against left-handers. His overall average is .256. 1-0, the count to Hebner. Pitch on the way to Richie is a breaking ball, and it just catches the outside corner, a strike. Hebner homered in the second game of last night's doubleheader, the only run that the Phillies got in an 8-1 defeat. So that makes Hebner the only player on the Phillies team who said he drove in runs in both ends of the doubleheader. Here's a long drive to right field, way back. It is gone. This ball game is tied. Hebner has tied it up on a 2-run homer. It's all even at 3. Like I said a couple minutes ago, this is an awful day for a pitcher and a great day for a hitter. And the ball's just leaping out of this place. It's just unbelievable the way that ball jumped out here. Hebner got a high pitch. I think it was a high breaking ball or a high fastball out over the plate where he likes it. He really likes the ball out away from him where he gets those long arms out and that long bat he uses. And he rode that out of here easy. And boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, this could be a 9-8er before it's over. Well, it's already 3-3, and we're only in the second inning. The batter, Tim McCarver. Schatzeder's pitch to Timmy is in for a strike called. McCarver batting .253. 4 balls have left the yard already this afternoon. 3 for the Expos, 1 for the Phillies. Curveball drops low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hebner's homer preceded by those of Cash, Valentine, and Carter for Montreal. Nobody out in the inning as the Phillies started with 3 extra base hits to tie the ball game. Here's Schatzeder's delivery. Check swing, grounder toward third. It stays fair. Backhanded by Parrish. The throw is not in time. McCarver beats it out. The 4th straight hit for the Phils. A check swing grounder trickling the opposite way, and Parrish could not get it to first in time. Dan Schatzeder retired the Phillies 1-2-3 in the first, and now they start the second with 4 consecutive hits. It brings up Sizemore. Gary Pirtle, right-hander, is the reliever warming up in the Expo bullpen. Sizemore lost an 8-game hitting streak last night when he was used as a pinch hitter in the second game. Size batting .228. Pitch to the right-handed batter is fouled at the plate, a strike. Phillies have battled back to tie it 3-3.
Another thing with the All-Star break coming up, this is one of those days where you can use all your pitchers. You don't have to go with a guy longer than you normally would because everybody's going to get some rest after this. The Expos, of course, have 2 guys going the All-Star game, but you can really use your bullpen and even run a starter out there on a day like this.
Stretch in the pitch by Schatzeder. A breaking ball is popped up. There's going to be a play on this one over behind first. Perez coming over and grabs it in foul ground. Sizemore fouls out, and that's the first out of the inning. That will bring up Steve Carlton. Well, I'm sure you noticed that the Dodgers put starter Tommy John in their ball game last night in Houston, second end of the doubleheader. And he came out with a victory for his 10th of the year. That will enhance his stats a little as he goes to the All-Star game. Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. It would be an absolute miracle if either pitcher comes up with a complete game this afternoon, particularly in view of the way we've started. Carlton, the Phillies' best hitting pitcher at .279 with a dozen hits. Steve bats him left-handed. They're looking for a bunt. Here's the pitch to him. He was not bunting, and he takes outside a ball. At least Parrish at third is creeping way in. Perez at first is watching McCarver.
Danny Ozark really likes to let Steve Carlton swing the bat because he's a good pitcher. A good hitter, I mean.
Stretch in the pitch by Schatzeder way outside. 2-0 the count to Steve Carlton.
Boy, the ball's jumping around this ballpark today. You hate to see anybody bunt. You like to see everybody get their swing.
Phillies 3, Expos 3. We're in the Phillies' second inning. There's only 1 down. Here's the stretch by the left-hander. There goes McCarver, but the pitch is fouled back. Off the facing in front of the broadcast booth, occupied by the famed Duke Snyder, who is heading back to his avocado farm in California right after the game. Schatzeder stretches. And the pitch, McCarver running again. It's a ball, throw to second base, out. The tag put on by Spire. McCarver tagged out on the pitch.
Well, that had to be a hit and run, and Carlton didn't swing at the pitch. When you have a hit and run, you have to really swing the bat and try and protect the runner, and he did not.
Three balls and 1 strike to count on Carlton. 2 outs in the inning. Here's the pitch to lefty. Check swing. It is a no swing. Appeal made to the third base umpire Crawford, and Carlton gets the base on balls. First walk of the ball game. And Jerry Martin will be the hitter. Jerry flied out to right field. 4 hits and 3 runs in the inning for the Phillies as they tie this ball game. We've already had 9 hits between the two teams, most of them for extra bases. Martin batting .292. Schatzeder at the belt. Here's the pitch to Jerry. It's a breaking ball on the inside corner, a strike. Schatzeder has no lifetime record against the Phillies. When he pitched against them June 28th, it was the first time they had seen him. The 23-year-old lefty has the sign from Carter. Here's his pitch to Martin, and it's way inside. Ball and a strike to the right-handed batting Jerry Martin. Jerry's been seeing quite a bit of playing time lately, and he has really come through. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Laced to left field and a base hit. Steve Carlton takes the turn at second. He's going to go to third. A little trouble with the ball. Cromartie. And on into second base goes Martin. Phillies at second and third. That'll be a double for Jerry Martin. Left fielders disappear from our view down in that left field corner. I couldn't see what Cromartie was doing, but I do know it took him a long time to come out of there with the baseball. And here is Expos skipper Dick Williams giving long glances at that bullpen as he strides toward the mound, and I think he's going to make a change.
Yeah, the Phillies are really hitting shots that are... they would have had some more runs this inning except for that ill-fated hit-and-run play that they tried with Carlton at the plate and Tim McCarver on first base. And that will be it for him.
Pitching change for the Expos. Phils and Montreal tied 3-3. We'll be back after these messages.
Here's your 17 Germantown Avenue in Philadelphia.
The new pitcher for Montreal is Jerry Pirtle, a right-hander recently called up. He's appearing in only his fourth ball game. He was in this series briefly the other night. Pirtle has no one-loss record, nor has an earned run been scored against him in 5 1/3 innings of pitching. Jerry Pirtle is 30 years of age, and he's been a pro for 12 years, but he's finally getting his first chance to pitch in the major leagues. He inherits a situation of runners at second and third, 2 outs in the inning, and the ball game tied 3-3 as Larry Boa comes up, and Pirtle's a right-hander, so Larry gets to swing around and bat from the left side. Boa flied out to center field in his first at bat. Carlton, the runner at third base. Jerry Martin, who doubled the runner at second. Pirtle from the windup. The pitch to Boa. It's popped up. It's playable right in front of the plate. Carter is out calling everybody off, and the Expo catcher has it for the third out of the inning. Boa pops up on one pitch, and the inning is over, but the Phils have tied the ball game on 3 hits, 5 runs. Excuse me, make it 3 runs and 5 hits, okay? 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 2, Expos 3, Phillies 3. When the Phillies return following the All-Star break, a reminder that July 24th, 25th, and 26th, the Atlanta Braves will be in. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights for 7:35 ball games. And on Wednesday night, there's going to be a sky show. Then July 31st and August 1st and 2nd, the New York Mets for 7:35 starts Monday and Tuesday nights and Wednesday night. And Tuesday night is going to be hot dog night. The ball game Wednesday will begin at 12:35. Andre Dawson of the Expos will lead off the Montreal third inning. This ball game all even now, 3-3. 3 runs and 5 hits for each side. Dawson flied out to center field in his first at bat. At Shea Stadium today, Mike Krukow will pitch for Chicago against Pat Zachary, who's going to the All-Star game. Pittsburgh at St. Louis will find Bert Blyleven pitching against Bob Forsch. Curveball to Dawson is over for a strike. Ed Halicki will pitch for the Giants, who have won 4 out of 5 at Cincinnati. The Reds will use Paul Moskow. Breaking ball low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Later, Los Angeles at Houston. The Dodgers have won 11 of 14. And San Diego plays at Atlanta. Bob Shirley against Preston Hanna. Here's a ball high. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Curveball, foul at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Dawson. Dawson leading off the Expo third. Montreal with 3 bases empty home runs in this ball game. Carlton winds, and the 2-2 pitch is a fastball out of the strike zone, but Dawson swings and misses. Third strikeout for Carlton. Chris, you've been toying with that message in front of you all afternoon. Would you care to deliver it?
Yeah. Today is Hazleton Day at Veterans Stadium, and there's 2 people from Hazleton that are ill and weren't able to make it today, and we'd like to say hello to them. One is Rex Pauline, and the other is a happy 74th birthday to Andrew Humanek.
Here's Ellis Valentine at the plate, swinging a foul. I thought you did that very well.
Yeah, well, we wish you could be here today, but enjoy the game on radio up in Hazleton.
We'd like to send our best wishes to Hazel Austin, 86 years of age, a great Phillies fan, who is in the Burlington County Hospital, and we hope she's feeling well. One strike pitch to Valentine inside. Valentine hit his 14th home run with the bases empty in the first inning. Carlton winds. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, but Valentine went after it. That's a strike. It was a bad pitch, but he waved at it. 1-2 count. Valentine leads Montreal in homers with 14 and runs driven in with 49. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a ground ball top to third base. Hebner has it head high. Throw to first is just in time. Valentine really scooted down that line, but he is out number 2. 2 up and 2 down in the Expo third, and here's Tony Perez, who beat out an infield hit. A ball that was hit hard off Boa's glove. It bounded into the outfield. Pitch to the veteran Perez is fouled back to the screen. Strike 1. Expos 3 runs and 5 hits. They led 3-0. And the Phillies have come back with 3 runs and 5 hits. And that's where we stand. Here's the 1-strike pitch to Tony. It's over for a strike call. Who are those strange-looking Frenchmen wearing those Phillies hats?
The Expo broadcasters next to us, Claude Raymond and Jacques Doucette in Philly hats.
Pitch is high, a ball. 1-2. That's right. It's cap day here at the ballpark. I think a lot of the fans are going to get them mixed up for us wearing those Philly caps. We're in here without any caps. High, a ball.
Claude just pointed to his cap, and well, we're number 1.
Here's the 2-2 to Perez. Very high. And a full count to Tony. Tell you one thing, I'm glad it's not Poncho Day here at Veterans Stadium. Be a little warm for that. That's coming, though. Curveball, swing and a miss. Perez strikes out, and the inning is over as Carlton has his best inning yet. Expos retired 1-2-3 in the third at the end of 2.5. It's tied 3-3. Now time for a tasty break.
When it comes to the Phillies, everyone has their favorite player. And when it comes to tasty cake, everybody has their favorite. Like light and delicious cream-filled vanilla Crimpies or cream-filled chocolate Crimpies. Tempting, fresh-baked cake that comes individually wrapped or by the family pack full. Tasty Cake Crimpies. They're all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty cake is a world of fun. All the things wrapped up in one.
A luxury car ought to give you your money's worth of luxury. It ought to be big enough for you to stretch out in and have a smooth and easy ride. Chrysler Cordova gives you all that and more. You not only get options like Corinthian leather, but 5 different roof styles. Not to mention that great Chrysler engineering. Standard features like the lean burn engine that gives you better performance. Chrysler Cordova, the ultimate personal luxury car. See it at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer and get your money's worth.
Acme Super Saver has everything you need for your outing. So when you shop, don't forget our sandwich meat, the eggs and salad greens. Also luscious fruit fresh from the orchard scene. Don't forget Acme's cups and plates, chips and soda pop, the Franks and rolls and ideal things for on top. Don't forget the steak to grill. Lancaster brand, no doubt. Full cut sirloin with no tenderloin taken out. For everything you need at prices you're going to like, don't forget Acme Super Saver.
Let's pause for station identification along the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. Here at 2:31, AccuWeather says mostly sunny and humid this afternoon. High near 90. Fair tonight, the low about 70.
Gary Lee Maddox to lead off for the Phillies in the third inning. Here's Pirtle's first pitch. It's foul to strike. Maddox struck out batting against Dan Schatzeder in the first. Here's the right-hander's next pitch, and it's a pop fly ball into right field. Coming over is Valentine, and he one-hands it for the out. Maddox retired on a fly ball to Valentine. That's 1 down in the Phillies' third. And Greg Luzinski, who doubled and scored in the Phillies' comeback inning, the second. Little melody of love for the ball. Very little, as it turns out. Greg batting at .245. Wind up, and the pitch by Pirtle. Check swing, but it's in for a strike. Next delivery is foul back to the screen. Pirtle throws a fastball, a slider, a curve, and a changeup. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Expos purchased him from the Chicago Cubs farm system. The 0-2 pitch to the ball is a pop foul that's going out of play over top the Phillies dugout.
Looks like one of those guys you'd like to see once or twice before you're really going to hit him. He's kind of quick, and he comes from almost down under, more from the side, and the ball looks like it gets on the hitter pretty good.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Luzinski, and it's a breaking ball just a bit high. 1-2 the count.
That ball right there, he threw dead overhand, his breaking ball. His fastball, he throws a little bit from the side.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Luzinski. A changeup is outside. After the ball game today, the Jersey City Indians will play the Reading Phillies, Phillies Farm Club, and all the Reading Phillies are already gathered here at the ballpark watching game one. 2-2 to the ball, outside, full count. Wind up, and the pitch by Pirtle, high, ball four. Greg Luzinski walks. First walk issued by Pirtle, the second by Montreal pitching today, and it brings up Jose Cardinal, who had an RBI double in the second. 3-3 ball game, and here is Cardinal. Jose's average following that double right back at the 300 mark. He has really helped the Phillies. Pirtle from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And a slider is over for a strike. Pirtle spells his name P-I-R-T-L-E. Pirtle. Pitch on the way to Cardinal. High fly ball to center field. Dawson moving into position to make the catch. And he takes it for the second out of the inning. Cardinal flies out to Dawson. That's two down with Luzinski holding first. And here's Hebner, who has accounted for two of the Philly runs with his 8th home run of the year and second in as many days. Hebner batting at .260, left-handed batter. Stretched by the right-hander, and the pitch gets beyond Carter, and Luzinski will take second base. That'll be a wild pitch, and ball one on Hebner. Luzinski to second. Overcast here at Veterans Stadium right now. And the forecast of some scattered thunder showers, a possibility later in the day. Here's the stretch by Pirtle, and they're going to go ahead and give Hebner a base on balls now that the wild pitch has opened up first. So Hebner will be intentionally walked, and they will deal with McCarver.
Some interesting strategy here by Dick Williams with the base open, putting Richie Hebner on. You'll do that a lot of times when the next batter is right-handed. You'd rather take your chances with him and the right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher, but Tim McCarver, of course, being a left-handed hitter, so Dick Williams taking a chance here.
Here's Timmy, who got a check swing single to third in his first at bat. McCarver's average at .263. Phils and the Expos tied 3-all this ball game in the Phillies' third inning. And now Pirtle steps off the rubber. Carter has given the sign. And here's the first pitch to Timmy, a fastball outside, ball one. Phillies have won 15 of their last 20 ball games, but they've had a lot of trouble with the Expos this year. They have won only 4 of the 11 games so far. 1-0 pitch to McCarver. It gets through Carter, and the runners will each advance a base. Timmy on a check swing did not touch the ball, And the runners each move up one more.
Well, this presents another situation for Dick Williams now. You have the base open, and Ted Sizemore, a right-handed batter on deck. So they might go ahead and walk McCarver here. And the Expos pitching coach, Jim Brewer, is going to come out and talk to Pirtle, and that's exactly what they'll talk over, the possibility of walking McCarver here or pitching to him.
Pirtle has been charged with his second wild pitch of the inning. Greg Luzinski stands at third base strictly on what Pirtle has given him. He walked him, wild pitched him to second, wild pitched him to third. Brewer headed back to the dugout. And the count on McCarver, 2 balls and no strikes. Carter remains on the mound talking with Pirtle. Well, let's see what they'll do here. Sizemore is next. They're going to pitch to McCarver. 2 balls and no strikes. Pirtle uses the full windup, and here's the pitch to Timmy, a strike call. Scoreboard totals identical, 3-5-0 for each side right now. San Francisco failed in the first inning at Cincinnati. The pitch to Timmy, a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Well, I thought that the Expos might try and pitch around McCarver here with the base open, but the first pitch was a strike right down the middle, and that time he went for the outside corner, so they're challenging Timmy. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Tim McCarver. Breaking ball and a fly ball hit well into left center field. Way back, it is caught by Cromartie at the edge of the warning track. Long run by Cromartie, but he got there for the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, and 2 men left on base. Harry Callis will have the play-by-play in a moment. At the end of 3, Expos 3, Phillies 3.
Chrysler LeBaron's a good combination. It's a car sized for today's living, yet loaded with luxury. It gives you your money's worth with sensibly sized style. And your choice of 3 models, a young stylish 2-door, a classic 4-door, and the new LeBaron Town & Country wagon. The difference between this wagon and any other is luxury. Why drive a car that doesn't feel great? Why not get your money's worth of style and luxury? When LeBaron gives you all this, why settle for anything less? See it at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Feel good, then you just gotta come to Geno's, because that's where you'll find Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken, golden brown and finger-licking good. They go together, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Geno's. So come on, come to Geno's and feel good.
Well, we move to the 4th inning of a 3-3 ball game, and leading off for the Expos will be Larry Perry. Wild one here at Veterans Stadium in the early going, 5 hits apiece. All of Montreal's runs coming on a solo home run by Dave Cash, Ellis Valentine, and Gary Carter. Here's Perry. She flied out to deep center his first time up. Wind up by Steve Carlton, and the pitch to Parrish. A curveball is low for a ball. 1-0 to Parrish. 1-0 pitch to him. Swing. He tried to check, but he committed himself on a good breaking ball. It's 1-1 to Larry Parrish. Steve Carlton has his sign from Tim McCarver, the 1-1 pitch. Another breaking ball is bounced foul back behind the plate as Parrish loses his batting helmet in the process. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Parrish to be followed by Warren Cromartie and then Gary Carter. Here's Carlton's 1-2 pitch. A fastball that just missed outside. It's 2-2 to Parrish. The 2-2 pitch to him. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a slider. That's 5 strikeouts for Carlton. 1 down here in the 4th. It'll bring on Warren Cromartie, who singled his first time up.
Carlton's been using his slider a lot more in the last couple innings, and that's evidenced by the number of check swings he's getting from the right-handed hitters. He'll use that slider, and it'll bore in on the right-handed hitter at the last second. He'll try to check his swing, and he's gotten 3 or 4 strikes now on balls that the hitters tried to stop their swing on and can't.
There's a windup by Carlton, and the pitch to Cromartie is a curveball that's outside for a ball. 1-0 to Cromartie. Wind up by lefty in the 1-0 pitch. Another breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Carlton's thrown all breaking pitches except one so far in this inning. Ball and a strike to count to Crow. 1-1 pitch. Fastball driven to right center field. It's a gapper and going all the way back to the fence. Jerry Martin chases it down. Cromartie rounding second, heading for third. Boa's throw not in time. A diving triple for Cromartie. So Warren Cromartie triples to right center field. His 4th 3-base hit of the year.
Cromartie has had little trouble with Carlton's fastball this afternoon. The first time he was up, Lefty had him buried 0-2 with breaking balls, and he hit a fastball for a single to right, and he made him look bad on a couple breaking balls that time, and then really ripped that fastball into the alley out there. So they've had success with Cromartie with breaking balls, and he's hitting the fastball.
There's Gary Carter. He homered his first time up. He's hit 9 home runs this year. Coming into this series, it had been more than 2 months since he hit a home run. And he has hit 3 in this series. Phillies have the right side in, a high fly ball into shallow right. Jerry Martin is there. Martin makes the catch. The throw to the plate on a fly, caught by McCarver. Nearly went over his head, but Cromartie holds at third base. Was not a deep fly ball, and Martin really gunned the ball. He actually overthrew it. McCarver made a good catch, had to go high in the air to catch the ball, but Cromartie was not coming. That's 2 outs in the 4th inning. It'll take a hit now, and it brings on Chris Spire. See if the Phillies will pitch to Spire or put him on with Jerry Pirtle, the pitcher, due up next, although Sam Mejias has moved into the on-deck circle.
Stan Bonson has been throwing the last couple innings, and in fact, he just got back up again, so he's ready to come in if they need a pitching change, and that would dictate some more of the strategy right now.
If the Phillies walk Spire, I'm sure that Dick Williams will pinch hit. This is the last day before the All-Star break, so you can use all your pitchers, even starters if necessary. They'll get ample rest before the next game. They're going to pitch to Spire, and the pitch to him is top foul behind the Phillies dugout. 1 strike to Chris Spire. Cromartie at third base and 2 outs. Spire flied out to right his first time up. Steve Carlton gets his sign from Tim McCarver. 1 strike pitch, swing and a drive into deep right field. Martin is there, though, and Jerry makes the catch at the rim of the warning track. So the Expos go down in the 4th. No runs ahead, no errors. 1 left. We move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. With the score, Phil's 3 and Montreal 3. 2 years ago, Plymouth introduced the most successful car in its history, Polaris. Today, we've got it in 3 styles that all give you your money's worth. The Slant 6 Coupe that gets better mileage than any 6-cylinder automatic built in America. The sedan that's roomiest in its class. And the wagon that's become the #1 selling wagon in America over the past 2 years. Coupe, sedan, or wagon. Polaris gives you your money's worth. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. So just say bud. And for the king of beers, and settle back and be yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where. You know a glass of blood is like an easy jet when you say Budweiser.
Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. When you work hard, you ought to relax. Easy. That's what Budweiser's all about.
When you say Budweiser, you get it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Ted Sizemore leads off for the Phillies here in the fourth and takes a pitch low for a ball. Size fouled out to Tony Perez his first time up. 3-3 ball game, bottom of the first. Jerry Pirtle delivers to Sizemore. A fastball is high, and it's 2-0. Pirtle, quite a story. He spent 12 years in the minor leagues before getting a shot in the majors. He was pitching phenomenal ball for Denver. 1-0 with about a dozen saves and an ERA under 1. 2-0 pitch is over for a strike called. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a foul, backing out of play. 2-2 to Ted Sizemore.
Bob Boone was talking about this guy the other day, Harry. He said he faced him in the Coast League when he played there and said he had a tremendous arm in those days and really threw hard but never seemed to get a chance in the majors.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a drive down the left field line. Cromartie back and over and makes the catch near the warning track. Sizemore gave it a pretty good ride to left, but caught by Cromartie. 1 down. That'll bring on Steve Carlton. I'll tell you, you really have to be persistent and love the game to toil in the minor leagues for a dozen years.
Now, you really got to give a guy credit to hang in there like that.
Here's Pirtle's pitch to Carlton. He had a cut at a fastball, and he fouled it back. Steve walked his first time up. 3-3 ball game, bottom half of the fourth inning. 1 strike pitch to Carlton. A change is grounded to Tony Perez. He lobs to Pirtle, covering him plenty of time to get Carlton. And there's 2 down in the fourth inning. That'll bring on Jerry Martin. Martin is slide out to right and doubles. Jerry hitting .298. 2 outs, nobody on base. Playing in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and this ball game tied at 3. Jerry Martin steps in. Jerry Pirtle winds in the pitch to Martin. A bunt try, and it's bunted foul for a strike. 1 strike to Martin. Bobby Mercer has just hit a 2-run home run at Shea Stadium in New York. The Cubs move in front of the Mets by a score of 2-0 in the third. One strike to count to Jerry Martin. Here's a pitch to Jerry. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Chris Spire has it and throws, and Martin is out by a stride. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in the fourth. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. We move to inning number 5. It's Phil's 3, Expos 3.
Coca-Cola Life got the taste and the feeling you like. Coca-Cola, come on in. Pour yourself some Coke Ice Cold. Like I told ya, walking, talking, dancing till dawn. Turning it off and turning it on. Coca-Cola Life, Coca-Cola adds life.
I used to think of the George machine at Girard Bank as my own private money game. If I forgot to go to the bank or needed cash on a weekend, there he was. Proceed to go and collect $200. Man, I owned that withdrawal button. You know what I mean? And then I looked at all the buttons. Wow. Checking, savings, deposits, loans, transfers, balances. I got a whole bank right here. Now I do my everyday banking with George. I push the buttons, and I run the bank.
George lets you be the banker. Girard Bank. We're there when you need us.
Well, Harry Callis reminding you that Rich Ashburn's next Haddon travel trip is a 1-week trip to London. The cost is only $4.99 for this first-class trip with Whitey Ashburn. And here's what you get. British Airways scheduled 747s from Philadelphia, 7 nights at the superior first-class Kensington Hilton in London. Theater tickets, a wine and cheese party, transfers, tips, taxes, and baggage handling. Be leaving right after the World Series on November 2nd for a free brochure on this first-class 1 week to London, featuring British Airways 747s from Philadelphia and 7 nights at the Kensington Hilton in London. Call Haddon Travel in Philadelphia, WA 36663, and in New Jersey, 795-5550. Sam Mejias is coming up to pinch hit for Jerry Pirtle, the pitcher, here in the 5th inning. Sam, a right-hand batter. Here's Steve Carlton's windup, and the pitch to Mejias, a fastball, is high for a ball. Mejias to be followed by Dave Cash, and then Andre Dawson. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a shot into center field. Maddox backtracking makes the catch. Well hit ball by Mejias, but caught by Gary Maddox, 1 down. That'll bring on Dave Cash. Cash is homered and struck out. Stan Bonson gets up in the Expos bullpen. He'll be the new pitcher. Good job done by Jerry Pirtle, who still has not scored on since being called up from Denver. He pitched 2 1/3 innings, got out of a jam in the 2nd, gave up no runs, no hits. He struck out none, and he walked 2. 1 was an intentional walk. The end of 2 at Shea Stadium. Well, now in the 3rd, Mercer has hit a 2-run homer, and the Cubs lead New York 2-0. Cubs still batting in the 3rd. Pitch to Cash is high. Mike Krukow for Chicago and Pat Zachary for New York. Zachary, an all-star pitcher, 10-3. 1-0 pitch to Cash is over for a strike called. It's 1-1. Pittsburgh and St. Louis, 0-0 after 1. That's Bert Blyleven against Bob Forsch. San Francisco, Cincinnati, 0-0 after 2. Curveball grounded off his foot and toward the mound, a foul ball. It's 1-2 to Dave Cash. Ed Halicki for San Francisco this afternoon, and Paul Moscow for Cincinnati. Los Angeles at Houston will be a little later on. San Diego and Atlanta. Atlanta leads the Padres 2-1 after 1. That's Bob Shirley against Preston Hanna. The American League, Cleveland 2, Boston 0 after 2. Alan Ripley for Boston and Rick Wise for Cleveland. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing up there, it's 2-2. Toronto and Chicago, 0-0 after 1. Moore for Toronto and Steve Stone for the White Sox. Baltimore and Kansas City just underway. Mike Flanagan against Dennis Leonard. Pitch to Cash, swing at a pop foul down the right field side. It'll be out of play into the picnic area. And the count is 2-2. Flanagan for Baltimore going for number 13. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out with a slider. Cash chased a bad pitch. 2nd strikeout for Carlton, or 6th strikeout rather for Carlton. That's out number 2 here in the 5th, and that'll bring on Andre Dawson. Dawson is lined out to center and struck out.
See Dave Cash strike out very often, let alone twice in one game. And Carlton got him last time with a 3-2 curveball, and this time he got him with that slider we've been talking about, how it's breaking in on the right-handed hitter.
Fastball to Andre Dawson is high for a ball. 3-3 ball game, 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball is over for a strike call. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dawson with 2 outs and no base runners. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Dawson. Carlton has really settled down since giving up 3 solo homers in the first 2 innings. Ball and 2 strikes to Dawson. 1-2 pitch to him. A curveball is laced foul past the Phillies dugout. Almost hit that out of McCarver's glove. A screaming foul ball. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andre Dawson. One-two pitch. Bouncing up there, and it's 2-2. Here's the 2-2, and it's bounced foul into the Expos dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Andre Dawson with 2 outs. Nobody on base.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 7 strikeouts. A good fastball by Carlton. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's Phillies 3, Expos 3.
Cotman Transmission presents the history of the automatic transmission. The first mass-produced automatic transmission appeared in 1941, and gradually the country went shiftless. Then came Ultramatic, Turboglide, Cruisematic, Dynaflow, Flight Pitch, Torque Flight, and Roto-Hydromatic. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Trouble was expensive and time-consuming. Then along came Cotman, who devised the system, invented the method, and smoothed the tune about automatic transmission repair at a fraction of its cost. And in half the time. The Cotman Man. Transmissions keep on shifting. Cotman. We fix transmissions because we know how. For the leaders in preventive maintenance, check your local yellow pages for the Cotman Man near you.
Well, okay, fans, time for another Daily News home run payoff. The game that's so easy to play, even a little kid can win. It happened the other night when 4-year-old Robert Gant Jr. won $1,000 on a Gary Maddox homer, which raised the home run payoff grand total to nearly $135,000. You can win up to $5,000 every day the Phillies play. And this season, every hit pays off. To enter, use the home run payoff entry coupon in the Daily News, where you can also win big bucks every day in the $100,000 Lucky Bucks game. See the Daily News for details. Well, the quiz on the scoreboard this afternoon is, can you name Christopher Wheeler's middle name? Is it Clemson, George, Percy?
No.
Or Poindexter? Or Charles?
Charles. What's yours, Harry?
Larry Boa leads off for the Phils, batting for Lenora T. Lyons in our Daily News home run payoff. Lenora on Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. Stan Bonson, the Expos' new pitcher, coming on for Jerry Pirtle, who did a good job. The pitch to Boa is a fastball high and away for a ball. Bonson appearing in his 18th game, all have been in relief. No wins, 2 losses, 5 saves, an ERA of 3.24. Bonson, a veteran right-hander, used to be with the Yankees when he first broke in, and he could really fire that baseball. Now basically a slider pitcher. Pitch to Boa, high fly ball into shallow right center. Dave Cash going out. Cash makes the catch going away for out number 1. So Boa's out, and Lenora T. Lyons of Philadelphia. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. That'll bring on Gary Maddox. Maddox batting for Irv Kahn of Edison Avenue in Willingboro, New Jersey. Gary is struck out and flied out to right. Stan Bonson, the third pitcher to be used by Dick Williams this afternoon. The Phillies have gone all the way with Steve Carlton. 3-3 ball game. There's a pitch on the way to Gary Maddox, and he takes high for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's in the dirt for a ball. It's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul straight back. It's 2-1 to Gary Maddox. 1 out, nobody on base. Bottom of the 5th, we're tied at 3. Stan Bonson winds. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. 2-2 to Maddox. Batting for Irv Kahn of Willingboro, New Jersey, in our Daily News home run payoff inning. Bonson looks in for the side. Maddox tires the waiting. He steps out of the batter's box. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Went around on a high pitch. Maddox chased a high pitch, and he missed it. Tried to check his swing, but he's a strikeout victim. That's 2 down in the 5th inning, and Irv Kahn of Willingboro, New Jersey. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. That'll bring on
by Greg Luzinski, and he'll be batting for Scott Erasmus. State Road in Pine Hill, New Jersey. Bull has doubled and scored a run, and he has walked. Leads the National League in homers with 21. There's a pitch on the way to Luzinski and a tie for a ball. Not too far off the Major League lead. Jim Rice has 23, and it's been a long time since Rice has hit a home run. He had 23 way back when we were in San Francisco. Very high fly ball into center field, and right there is Andre Dawson. He waits and makes the catch. Luzinski is out. Scott Erasmus of Pine Hill, New Jersey. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. Join us again on Friday night from Atlanta Stadium when in a designated inning. You could win up to $5,000 on Daily News home run payoff. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left after 5. It's Phil's 3, Expos 3. Now time for a tasty break.
Hi, Sam here with the Tasty Cake Baseball Baffler. Since 1953, only 2 players have led the major leagues in home runs for 3 years in a row. Can you name them? While you toss that around, enjoy something that always hits the spot. Tasty Cake Crimpets. Light, freshly baked sponge cakes that come filled with real jelly. Topped with creamy butterscotch icing or filled with tangy lemon cream. Delicious Tasty Cake Crimpets are a winner in anyone's book. So bring them home by the family pack and give yourself a taste of the good life. And now here's the answer to our baffler. Since 1953, the 2 players who've led the major leagues in home runs for 3 years running are Harmon Killebrew of the Minnesota Twins, who did it in 1962, 3 and 4. And the Phillies' very own Captain Mike Schmidt, who gave the same winning performance in 1974, 75, and 76. Baseball and Tasty Cake. They're all the good things wrapped up in one.
And now from the KYW newsroom, today is ERE Day at Washington. Thousands of supporters of the Equal Rights Amendment are marching from the Washington Monument to the U.S. Capitol, demanding that Congress extend the deadline for ratification of the amendment another 7 years. The contract deadline for Philadelphia's non-uniformed employees fast approaching, and a strike is a possibility. It's sunny. It's 91 degrees on Independence Mall. KYW News Time, 3:04. Now let's get back to the ball game at the vet.
Pause here for station identification along the Phil's Baseball Network.
This is News Radio in the Delaware Valley, KYW 1060 Philadelphia. Mostly sunny, hot and humid the balance of the afternoon. Fair and warm tonight. Sunny and 91 on Independence Mall.
Well, we move to the 6th inning of a 3-3 ball game, and leading off from Montreal will be Ellis Valentine. He is homered and grounded out. Valentine has 14 homers, has knocked in 49 runs. He's hitting .304. Steve Carlton ready to pitch to Valentine. Gives him a breaking ball. It's on the inside corner for a strike called. 1 strike to Ellis Valentine. Valentine will be followed by Tony Perez and then Larry Parrish. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Missed inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind up by Carlton. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball grounded back up the middle and a base hit for Ellis Valentine. His 2nd hit of the ball game. He's had quite a series here. One night he went 5 for 5. Valentine at first base and nobody out. That'll bring up Tony Perez. He is singled and struck out. Carlton will have to watch Valentine. He'll run on occasion.
Expos really have an excellent young outfield, and Ellis Valentine and Andre Dawson and Warren Cromartie. They can do a lot of things, and running is one of them, like Harry just mentioned.
Carlton goes to first base, and Valentine gets back. Throwing certainly is another. They have a ton of assists in that outfield. Cromartie has 16. Valentine has 15. Dawson has 11.
They've got power. 2 of them have good power in Dawson and Ellis Valentine. Cromartie can handle the bat real well. They're really a good young outfield.
Another throw that way, and Valentine gets back. Valentine at first base and nobody out. 7th hit given up by Carlton. Here's the pitch to the plate, swinging a very high fly ball into left center field. Gary Maddox, sunglasses down, makes the catch.
Valentine bluffs to go and holds on at first base. So Perez is out on a high fly to left center field. One down. That'll bring on Larry Parrish. Parrish has flied out to deep center field and has struck out.
Hey, baseball's a funny game, though, Harry. I remember when the Giants had Maddox, Bonds, and Gary Matthews, and that was going to be the outfield that would be together for 10 years, and they got rid of all of them.
And that would have been a heck of an outfield. There's a throw to first base, and Valentine gets back. Valentine, a pretty good-sized lead. Carlton stretches, and the pitch to the plate is high for a ball. 1-0 to Larry Parrish. 3-3 ball game. We're playing in the 6th inning. There's a stretch by Carlton. There goes Valentine. They have him picked off, but there's going to be no throw to second base. Carlton's throw was a little wide and had Cardinal off balance. No chance for a throw, so Valentine steals, even though Carlton had him picked off. Valentine's 7th stolen base of the year. He's at second base with 1 out.
It's a smart thing for a base runner to do. When you're picked off by that much, you might as well just keep on going because it's going to take a good throw to get you and a quick throw, and he kept going.
He's going again. It's grounded foul. Parrish swung at a curveball, and had he taken the pitch, Valentine would have been on third base. What a jump he got. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Valentine will go back to second base.
Ted Sizemore just yelled into Carlson to at least take a look back there. Lefty didn't look at all, and Valentine had a running jump off a second. You have to get that base runner to at least stop moving before you throw the ball.
Phillies got a break when Parrish fouled off that pitch. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Parrish is high for a ball. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Larry Parrish. Valentine at second and 1 out. Carlton turns around to try to keep Valentine close. There's a stretch by Carlton. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a bouncing foul down the third base line. Parrish is getting a steady diet of breaking balls. 2-2 the count to it. 1 out. Ellis Valentine at second base. Now Parrish back in the batter's box. Now Carlton steps off, throws to third. Hebner drops the ball, and Valentine is safe at third base. Carlton had not even started his stretch. He stepped off the mound as Valentine broke way too early. Threw it right to Richie Hebner, who dropped the ball. They had a sure out at third base. It's got to be an error on Hebner. Valentine now at... Oh, they're giving him a stolen base. I don't know how they can do that. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a big strikeout for Carlton. Parrish goes down swinging. The 8th K for Carlton. 2 down in the 6th inning. Valentine at third base with what has been scored a stolen base.
Well, Carlson really handled himself well on that play, too, because all the pitcher has to do in that is just step back off the rubber, and you become a 5th infielder immediately. No chance of making a balk, and he very calmly stepped back and threw over there, and Richie dropped the ball, and it should be an error.
Here's the pitch to Crow Marty, and a tie for a ball. Crow Marty has singled and tripled. Now the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball is high. It's 2-0 to Crow Marty. Valentine at third base and 2 outs. 6th inning. 3-3 ball game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swings and he misses at a good slider. 2-1 the count to Crow Marty. He was swinging fastball and he got a slider. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss and another good slider. 2-2 the count to Crow Marty. So Marty has hit Carlton's fastball, so he's going to see bending pitches. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball struck him out. Got him with a great slider, and Carlton gets out of the jam. And with that strikeout, Steve Carlton
has just tied Sandy Koufax for career K. That is his 2,396. Ties Sandy Koufax for the 16 spot. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one left. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's 3-3.
Oils on the market, but only one is made for small cars, Castrol. Unlike ordinary oils, Castrol's viscosity won't break down in smaller, hotter, higher revving engines. That's why Castrol should be standard equipment on your car. Castrol. It's engineered for smaller cars, and it's great for all cars. And you can get all the great Castrol oils at low Penn Jersey prices, which is why they say...
When your car's not running like it did before, make a pit stop at Penn Jersey Auto Stores.
Jose Cardinal leads off for the Phils, bottom of the sixth. Jose has doubled to knock in a run. He's flied out to center field. 3-3 ball game, bottom half of the sixth inning. Steve Carlton has chalked up 9 strikeouts to tie him for 16th on the all-time list with pretty fair country pitcher, Sanford Koufax. Pitch to Cardinal is high for a ball, 1-0. Stan Bonson in his second inning in relief of Jerry Pirtle. There's the 1-0 pitch to Cardinal. Swinging a hard ground ball. Base hit left field. Jose Cardinal continues to sling in hits for the Phils. He's a base runner at first base. Nobody out. It'll bring on Rich Hebner. Hebner has hit a 2-run home run and was intentionally walked. Well, birthday wishes this afternoon. The Phillies pitching coach Ray Ripplemeyer. Big Rip is 45 years old today. Here's a stretch by Bonson. And the pitch to Hebner, line foul over the head of Tony Taylor, the first base coach. 1 strike to Hebner. They have made a scoring change on Valentine's steal of third. Change it to an error on Rich Hebner. 1 strike to count to Hebner. Cardinal at first base and nobody out. Bottom of the sixth of a 3-3 ball game. Stan Bonson stretches. And the pitch to Hebner. High and inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Cardinal first base and nobody down. Bonson, the third pitcher for the Expos this afternoon, preceded by Dan Schatzeder and Jerry Pirtle. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High and inside again, ball 2. It's 2-1 to Rich Hebner.
Perfect hit-and-run situation right now for the Phillies with a 2-1 count, and Tony Perez having to hold Jose Cardinal on first base and a left-handed hitter, and as Whitey would say, bet the house on it, Harry.
Well, I don't know. Hebner swings through some pitches on occasion. Let's see. 2-1 pitch. High for a ball. Cardinal holding his ground.
He does
Wrong
swing
again,
through
Wheels.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know.
3-1 the count. Rich Hebner. I don't think Hebner's that good a hit and run man, pal.
No, he isn't. He isn't, but tie game, it's a good time to try and do something.
Now the stretch by Bonson. 3-1 pitch, swing and a foul back up into the upper deck. It's a full count to Rich Hebner. Might see Cardinal running here. The Expos really overshift Hebner way around to the right. Cromartie is so far off the left field line, he's playing closer to center than the power alley in left center. Hebner ever hit a ball over Parrish's head, he could run all day. There's a stretch by Bonson and a throw to first base. Bonson thinks Cardinal is going to be running. Full count. Now the stretch by Bonson. Cardinal is running, swinging a foul back to the screen. Jose was breaking on the pitch, and Hebner fouled it back. It stays 3-2. Left-handed and right-handed activity in the Expos bullpen. Darrell Knowles, the southpaw, and Mike Garman, the right-hander.
Phillies had bullpen activity early. Warren Brewster was up in the first inning, but Carlton really settled down after giving up 3 solo home runs in the first 2 innings. We're 3-3, bottom of the 6th. Full count to Hebner. The stretch by Bonson. Cardinal breaking, and it's foul back again and out of play. So Jose will come back to first base, and the count remains 3-2 to Richie Hebner. Hebner hit his 2-run home run off starting pitcher Dan Schatzeder, a left-hander. Richie usually does not play against left-hand pitching, playing today just because Davey Johnson is out with a bad foot. Three and 2. Stays to Hebner. Throw to first base. Cardinal not a big lead, and he's back in plenty of time. Stan Bonson has his sign from Carter. Here's the stretch. And a throw to first base, and Jose gets back.
Bonson knows that Cardinal's going to go. He's already run twice. It's the perfect time to go again with the 3-2 count. You try to stay out of the double play in this situation by sending your runner.
Jose takes his lead. Here's the stretch. He's going. 3-2 pitch. Fouled again. And Cardinal's got to be getting a little tired. He bends down near second base. Slowly walks back to first. It stays 3-2. San Francisco's taken a 2-0 lead on Cincinnati in the 4th inning. Wow, if the Giants win 3 out of 4 at Riverfront, that'd be some kind of series for them going into the All-Star break. Bonson ready again. Here's the stretch. And a throw to first base, and Cardinal gets back. Jose is not taking that big a lead. George Hendrick has hit a St. Louis home run in the 4th with nobody on. Puts the Cards in front of Pittsburgh 1-0. Hebner has fouled off 3-2 pitches. Cardinal breaking on each one. Here's Bonson's stretch. There goes Jose again. Swing and a high powering drive to deep right. Valentine away back. It's out of here. Home run, Richie Hebner. His second 2-run home run of the ball game, and the Phillies lead it 5-3. This afternoon and knocked in 4 runs. Now has 9 homers and 32 runs batted in. Packer has homered for a case of tasty cake for him. 1 for the St. Luke's and Children's Medical Center. The Phillies have taken a 5-3 lead in the 6th inning. There's Tim McCarver. The fans now are on their feet, giving Hebner a standing ovation. He pops out of the dugout and waves. Nobody out. Here's Tim McCarver. He's 1 out of 2, and Bonson's pitch to him. High powering fly to right. But it'll stay in the park. Valentine is there. Makes the catch at the rim of the warning track. Well, McCarver gave it a good ride, but caught by Ellis Valentine.
Well, I'll tell you, this series, since it started on Thursday night here at Veterans Stadium, it looks like you're teeing up golf balls every time you hit the ball in the air. Hot weather has arrived at Veterans Stadium, and the ball is just leaping out here. Anything in the air looks like it has a chance right now.
Expos 3 coming on 3 solo homers. The Phillies have 2 2-run homers from Richie Hebner. Here's Ted Sizemore. The pitch to Size is low and inside for a ball. Sizemore is fouled out and flied out to deep left. There's Bonson's 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner for a strike called. It's 1-1. Ball and a strike to Ted Sizemore with 1 out. Bonson's 1-1 pitch. Bouncing up there for a ball. It's 2-1. Out of Hacker's 9 home runs, he's hit 7 of them here in the friendly confines of Veterans Stadium. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball lined into left center field for a hit. Over to cut it off is Andre Dawson. Ted Sizemore at first with a line single to left center, and that'll bring on Steve Carlton. Carlton has walked and grounded out. Phillies lead 5-3 in the 6th inning. I would imagine that Danny Ozark will be watching Lefty very closely from here on out. It's an extremely warm day.
Yeah, and he really threw a ton of pitches in those first 2 innings. Since then, it's been a little easier, but a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings and a lot of strikeouts since then. So we really got to watch him, especially with the good Phillies bullpen.
Ted Sizemore at first base, 1 out. The stretch by Bonson. Pitch to Carlton. Did not indicate a bunt and takes low for a ball. Is he bunting or swinging?
No, I think Danny Ozark will let Lefty swing the bat here. Of course, since I said that now, I'll probably bunt the day I'm having, but he's a good hitter. You know, you like to see him get a chance to swing the bat.
Pitch to Carlton. He was swinging all the way. Snap throw to first. Sizemore gets back. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Steve Carlton. He took the pitch. Did not indicate a bunt.
Danny obviously thinks he's a good hitter because he let him try and hit and run twice with Tim McCarver on base early in the game, so he has a lot of confidence in him.
Bonson stretches. Pitch to Carlton. Full swing and a base hit to center field. Sizemore will stop at second base. That's why Steve Carlton does not bunt. Hit a shot up the middle for a base hit. 2 men on base and 1 out. It'll bring up the top of the order, Jerry Martin. Martin is flying to right, doubled, and grounded out to short. Carter out to talk to Stan Bonson.
You can bet Dick Williams is going to stall around a little bit right here and let Steve Carlton stay out in the sun a little bit longer, too. Mike Garman's been throwing plenty long enough if he wanted to make a move, and he's just going to stall around a little bit more.
Phillies lead this game 5-3, bottom half of the 6th inning. Sizemore at second, Carlton at first. Jerry Martin steps in to face Stan Bonson. Here's Bonson's stretch. And the pitch to Martin is low for a ball. 1-0 to Jerry Martin. Time is called as Ted Sizemore ties his shoelace at second base. Now we're ready. Here's the stretch by Bonson and the pitch. Slider missing outside. It's 2-0. 2-0 the count to Jerry Martin. Stan Bonson back on the rubber. Here's his stretch. The 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball is over for a strike called, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Martin. 1 out. Ted Sizemore at second. Steve Carlton at first. 2 runs in on Richie Hebner's second 2-run home run of the day. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swings and he misses at a breaking ball. 2-2 the count to Jerry Martin. Larry Boa waiting on deck. Stan Bonson ready to go. Here's his stretch.
And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a hard ground ball. Base hit center field. Ted Sizemore rounds third. He scores. Phillies lead at 6-3 as Martin knocks in a run with a ground single to center. Carlton stopping at second base on the base hit. And that'll bring on Larry Boa. Out of the dugout pops Dick Williams. Expos manager. This will probably be it for Stan Bonson. The Phillies have taken a 6-3 lead here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Still only one out, two men on base, and Larry Bow will be the batter. Williams has made the way to the bullpen. This will be it for Bonson. We have a pitching change for the Expos. We're in the bottom of the sixth. It's Phil's 6, Expos 3, and we'll be back after this brief pause.
Some people study 12 years to be eligible for college and then find out that transportation to and from the campus is a real hassle. Not so at Widener College in nearby suburban Chester, Pennsylvania. There's no need to drive or take buses or trolleys in town, through town, downtown, or uptown. Your drive or public transportation ride is fast.
Mike Garman, the new Expos pitcher. Let's pause here for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Here at 3:31 in the afternoon, this is News Radio in the Delaware Valley, KYW 1060 Philadelphia. Sunny and 95 degrees on Independence Mall.
Larry Bow, the first one to face Garman. Garman for the Dodgers and the Expos is 0-3 this year with 6 saves. A high earned run average of 5.60. Carlton at second base. Martin at first base. 1 out. Pitch to Boa is high for a ball. Well, the only thing that concerns you about this inning is the fact that Steve Carlton has been out there on the bases while we've had a pitching change, and he's not getting a whole lot of rest to go out to the 7th. Lefty got a base hit. He's at second base. Martin at first. Pitch is over for a strike called 1-1 to Boa, who is nothing for 3. Larry's flied out and twice popped up. 6-3 Phils, bottom of the 6th. There's a stretch by Garman, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, grounded to short. The throw to Cash, 1 relay, not in time to double up Boa. And on the play, Carlton moves to third. So Martin forced to second base, fire to Cash. Boa safe at first on a fielder's choice. Carlton at third base. And with 2 outs, it'll bring up Gary Maddox. Maddox has struck out, flied out to right, and struck out. Steve Carlton, third base. Larry Boa, first base. A throw to first base, and Boa gets back.
200th game that's been so elusive for him, but Phillies have such a good bullpen, they won't stay with him.
Long drive off the bat of Maddox, but it's a foul ball. Well hit by Gary. Hit the scoreboard on the facing of the press level, but foul by about 50 feet. 1 strike to count to Maddox. 6-3 Phillies, bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch to Maddox, and he swings and he misses. It's 0-2. Steve Carlton at third, Larry Boa first, 2 outs. There's the 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball missing outside, 1-2. Mike Garman, 4th pitcher to be used by Dick Williams this afternoon. Steve Carlton has gone the distance for the Phils. Throw to first base, and again Boa gets back. Fairly close play. There's Garman's stretch. The pitch to Maddox. Swing and a fly ball center field. Right there is Andre Dawson, and he makes the catch, and the Phillies go down in the 6th, but send 8 men to the plate. scoring 3 runs in the inning. 5 hits, big blow, a 2-run homer by Richie Hebner. No errors and 2 left. After 6, the Phils lead the Expos 6-3, and now it's time for a tasty break.
True Blue Phillies fans already know there never was a better baseball team than those fantastic Phillies. Just like True Blue pie fans know there never was a better tasting packaged pie than Tasty Cake pies. Try an apple, a cherry, a peach, or blueberry, and discover the tantalizing taste of Tasty Cake pies. They're all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. All the things wrapped up in one.
Great in any year. MAB paints. When you paint, get the paint that lasts longer. MAB. It gives you more years per gallon. And great in 78 is what people will be saying about the Phillies. MAB has Phillies Great in 78 bumper stickers. And you could win 2 tickets to a Phillies game if one of the MAB spotters sees the Phillies bumper sticker on your car. To get your free Phillies bumper sticker, visit the nearest MAB paint store, dealer, or Rich Lux Home Center in your neighborhood.
Well, we move to the 7th inning. The Phillies leading it by a score of 6-3. Gary Carter will lead off for the Montreal Expos here in the 7th. And right after the All-Star break, the Phillies will have a short road trip to Atlanta and Houston. Following that, we have a lot of games with those Western Division clubs. Cincinnati in July 19th and 20th. July 21st, the big twilight doubleheader with the Houston Astros starting at 5:35. July 22nd, there'll be a night game with Houston at 7:35. And on the 23rd, it'll be Poncho Day. Free Phillies ponchos for all youngsters 14 or under. That'll be a night game, a rare Sunday night game, 7:35 on July 23rd. And on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, the Atlanta Braves come in. Big Sky Show will be on Wednesday night, the 26th, with laser beams. They tell me it's an outstanding show. And that homestand will wrap up with the New York Mets. Here's Gary Carter, and he swings and he misses. Had a little delay between innings because Doug Harvey, the plate umpire, has taken off his coat, and he's just in a T-shirt behind the plate, and you can't blame him. Boy, it is hot down on that field. 1 strike to count to Carter. Carter's homer didn't fly it out to right. Carlton's next pitch. Curveball bounces up there. It's 1-1. Well, we talked about Danny Ozark not taking any chances with Carlton in this heat, and he was a base runner in the entire bottom half of the 6th inning just about. So he has Raleigh Eastwick up and throwing. 1-1 pitch. Curveball is high. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Gary Carter. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball low and inside, and he falls behind him 3-1.
Just what you're talking about last inning. Carlton has not been behind many hitters today, and he's coming right out here and getting behind the first hitter. And you can't overemphasize the fact that he was out there all that time last inning, and the Phillies are going to get no chances and have the bullpen ready just in case. You get 6-7 innings out of a guy on a day like this, he's done a good job.
3-1 pitch. Hard ground foul down the third base side. It's a full count to Carter. I don't know what the official temperature is, but down in the field with the sun beating off that AstroTurf, it's got to be about 110.
Oh, yeah, it's always so much hotter down there. The best places to be on that stuff is to be in the dirt area, actually, where Doug Harvey and the batter and the catcher are.
Full count to Carter, the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. It stays 3-2 to Carter.
Had a day like this last year against the Cubs, I remember, on a Saturday, and Doug Harvey got overcome by the heat that day and had to leave the game. So today, I guess he went and took that shirt off and jacket not to take any chances.
That's right. Had to delay the game about 20 minutes. Here's a pitch, hard ground ball, flagged nicely by Richie Hebner. Throws and Carter's out. Good play by the Hacker. 1 down on the 7th. That'll bring on Chris Spire. Spire is twice flied out to right. So Carlton, after falling behind Carter, came back to get him. Stan Pappy has moved into the on-deck circle to bat for Mike Garman. There's a pitch on the way to Spire. Line drive left field. Luzinski there, though, makes the catch. Well hit by Spire, but caught by the bull. 2 down in the 7th inning. Stan Pappy will come out to bat for Garmin. Pappy hitting .274, 5 extra base hits. They've all been doubles. He's knocked in 6 runs. Cubs still lead the Mets 2-0 at the end of 4. Pittsburgh and St. Louis. The Cardinals lead that one 1-0 in the 4th on George Hendricks' home run. Giants still 2-0 over Cincinnati after 5. Houston has taken a 1-0 lead on Los Angeles at the end of 1. And Atlanta leads San Diego 2-1 in the 4th inning at Atlanta. Stan Pappy stepping in. Here's the pitch to Pappy, and he fouls it back to the screen. Cleveland leads Boston 6-0 at the end of 4. And Rick Wise is pitching that shutout for the Tribe. Toronto 1-0 over Chicago at the end of 4. Milwaukee leads New York 4-0 in the 1st inning. They knocked Don Gullett out in the 1st. Kansas City 2-0 over Baltimore in the bottom of the 3rd. 1 strike here to Pappy with 2 outs. Here's Carlton's pitch to him. A curveball is high for a ball. Ball and a strike to Stan Pappy. 1-1 pitch to him. Breaking ball is high. It's 2-1. 2 outs, nobody on base. 7th inning. Phillies lead 6-3. Here's Carlton's 2-1 pitch. Fastball lined into left field for a hit. Luzinski over to cut it off. Pappy will get 2 out of it as it gets by Luzinski. Pappy rounding second. He will hold there with a pinch hit double. So Stan Pappy at second base with 2 outs. That's hit number 8 for the Expos, and we'll bring on Dave Cash. Cash has hit a home run and twice struck out. Stan Pappy at second base, 2 down. There's a stretch by Carlton and the pitch to Cash. Fastball, top to third base. Richie Hebner has it and throws, and Cash is out. So the Expos go down in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's still 6, Montreal 3. Stan Pappy, who pinch hit, stays in the ball game to play second base. New pitcher Darrell Knowles. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Phillies lead at 6-3. And for more play-by-play, here again is Andy Musser.
Thank you, Harry. Knowles has won 2 and lost 1 this year and pitches to an earned run average of 2.13. Knowles, the ex-Phil, is appearing in his 30th ball game of the year. And the first man he will face is Greg Luzinski. Pitch on the way to the ball is over for a strike call. Greg 1 for 2, a double. He has also walked. Knowles' next pitch is fouled by Luzinski. Darrell worked an inning in last night's second game, did not give up any hits or runs. On Friday night, Larry Boa hit a home run off Darrell Knowles, who is appearing for the 7th time this year against the Phillies. He doesn't have any wins or losses, but he did pick up a save for Steve Rogers back in April. Bull takes high. 1-2 the count to Luzinski. Left-hander winds. Here's the next pitch. High, ball 2. 2-2 the count. Knowles is the 5th Montreal pitcher to work today. Dan Schatzeder started, relieved by Pirtle, Bonson, Garman, and Knowles. The 2-2 delivery is a change of speed, grounded to shortstop. Picked up by Spire. His throw to first is in time, and Luzinski is out. That's 1 out in the Phillies' 7th inning, and it brings to the plate Jose Cardinal, a 2 out of 3 afternoon. And both times that Jose has been on, he has scored. He has also driven in one of the Phillies' 6 runs. Cardinal batting .304. Wind up on the pitch by Knowles is low, ball 1. High and inside. 2 balls and no strike to count on Cardinal. This actually is a doubleheader here at Veterans Stadium today. The Reading Phillies are going to meet the Jersey City Indians following the ball game. That game will start 15 minutes after the windup of this one. Low and inside to Cardinal, 3-0. Phillies have done it in bunches today. 3 runs and 5 hits in the second. 3 runs and 5 hits in the sixth. Hebner involved in both with a pair of 2-run homers. Low and inside, ball 4 to Cardinal. He has been on base 3 of his 4 trips to the plate. And there should be a good hand for Richie Hebner. Hebner has a perfect day working, a pair of 2-run homers, and he was walked intentionally in the 3rd inning. Hebner hit one of his home runs off the left-handed slants of Dan Schatzeder. The other he hit off the right-hander Bonson. Pitch to Richie is outside, ball 1. Rollie Eastwick is up in the Phillies right field bullpen right now. Here's the stretch by Knowles. Bluffs the throw to first. Cardinal walks back to the bag. The pitch to Hebner. Ground ball to second base. Over to Spire for 1. Back on to first. A double play. Pappy just into the ball game starts that double play. And the Phils are retired in the 7th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. At the end of 7, Phillies lead Montreal 6-3.
I'm Katie Donlin, and I'm a flight attendant. Most of the time, I'm up in the air or waiting around an airport. You can see why I need a bank like Girard. With their new George Bank by phone, I can pay my bills right from the gate. And George Bank by phone lets me check my balance, transfer funds, or even give myself a loan. I guess Girard and I believe in the same thing. Good service.
Night and day, George lets Katie be the banker at Girard Bank. We're there when you need us.
For Penn Jersey Auto Stores, here's NASCAR racing champion Bobby Allison.
If you want tough, long-lasting auto parts, get Penn Jersey's own Trax brand parts. They're built tough to last long, and you can count on it.
And now you can get Speed Shop quality at Penn Jersey prices.
Penn Jersey's own Trax brand heavy-duty replacement mufflers for most American cars, just $15.99. Installation available. Trax brand rebuilt bonded brake shoes for most American cars, 4 shoes. For 2 wheels, just $5.55 with the old brake shoes.
Following the Phillies-Braves game on Thursday night, July 26th, the Phillies will present a spectacular and colorful sky show, which will incorporate laser beams, fireworks, and music done to the theme of Star Wars. This beautiful sky show has been featured in other stadiums around the country, and it's been a tremendous hit. So get your tickets now for the Phillies-Braves game on Wednesday night, July 26th. Then stay around for the spectacular sky show after the ball game. Well, we said in the first inning it would be a miracle if a pitcher went the distance here today, but the miracle is happening for Steve Carlton. At least he's heading into the 8th inning. After a very shaky start, 3 of the first 7 batters that Carlton faced hit home runs off him. But that's about all they got. In fact, that is all they've gotten, scoring-wise, and Lefty is still in there as we go to the 8th, and he has a 3-run lead. Here's Andre Dawson to start at 0 for 3. Twice Carlton has struck him out. Lefty has 9 strikeouts in this ball game this afternoon. Pitch on the way to Dawson. Very high fly ball deep into left field. This one is going gone. Oh, a mighty shot. It hit the facing against the upper deck. A home run for Dawson, his 12th, and the Expos are within 2 runs. It's 6-4.
This Expo team with all this right-handed hitting power, and as much as Carlton's thrown today, I was kind of surprised that Danny Ozark didn't go to Rollie Eastwick at the start of this inning, but I guess he wanted to see what would happen with the first batter, and really got to start keeping your eye on Carlton now.
And here comes Ray Ripplemeyer out of the dugout. First time all year that Carlton has yielded 4 home runs within one ball game. It's rather unusual to give up 4 home runs, all of them with the bases empty, which is the key factor right here. And Tug McGraw is also up and throwing for the Phillies. Ray Ripplemeyer at the mound. Ray does not usually have the hook when he comes out, although we have seen it. 2 homers in the first by Cash and Valentine. Carlton, I believe, is staying in the ballgame, although Ripplemeyer is coming out now to talk to home plate umpire Doug Harvey. He may be asking whether...
I think he's going to make a move and make a double change, Andy. That's what it looks like.
And he may be claiming injury on Carlton here, too. We'll see. This is also possible. Tim McCarver walking to the dugout. So apparently the double change is occurring, and the Phils are making it. Raleigh Eastwick will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. Raleigh has earned wins in his last 2 appearances at Shea Stadium and against Montreal in the Thursday night ball game here. Raleigh was great that night. He worked 4 2/3 innings of relief and gave up just 1 hit and no earned runs. There were 2 unearned runs scored against him. He walked 1 and struck out 2. Bob Boone is entering the ball game to be his receiver. So Boone will bat in McCarver's spot. Eastwick will bat in the number 9 spot. Right-hander Raleigh Eastwick, 2-0 for the Phillies, appearing in his 6th game with a 3.60 earned run average. In the American League with the Yankees this year in 5 games, he was 2-1, and his ERA there was 3.28. Right-hander Raleigh Eastwick. Raleigh from Haddonfield, New Jersey, 27 years of age. Carlton gave up 4 home runs today, but they were the only 4 runs the Expos got, as each was hit with the bases empty. Here's Ellis Valentine. He had one of the homers, and he's 2 for 3 this afternoon with a stolen base. Phillies 6, Expos 4 were in the top of the 8th inning. Eastwick winds, and here's the pitch on the way to Valentine, way inside, ball 1.
Ellis Valentine really stands right on top of home plate. And pitchers like to pitch him in to move him off the plate a little bit. A pitcher feels like that's his territory, and the hitter who stands like that feels it's his. And a lot of pitches to Ellis Valentine wouldn't even be close to most hitters, but he's leaning right over the plate.
The 1-0 pitch to Valentine. Hard hit ground ball, but right to Boa. Larry fires it over to Cardinal, and Valentine is retired. That's 1 down in the 8th inning. The hitter will be Tony Perez. He is 1 for 3. Perez singled off Boa's glove in the 1st inning. Well, it's pretty tough to, if you look at it from the opposite point of view, for the Expos to have had 4 home runs here today and look up at that scoreboard and see themselves behind by 2. Fastball high to Perez, ball 1.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nice.
Oh, we know what side you're on. Here's the 1-0 to Perez. Swinging a ball knocked down by Eastwick. It's going to be a base hit. The ball rolled over the foul line toward third. Boone fields it. A wicked shot back to the mound, ricocheting off of Eastwick and his glove. And then midway between home and third across the line, an infield hit for Tony Perez. Hit number 10 in the game for Montreal. The hits are all even now, 10 aside.
The ball looked like it got Eastwick right on the shin, and that'll hurt for a while, but he shouldn't have to leave the game. I would think he'd be okay.
I think he got some glove on it, too, I believe. But just to make sure, the Phils do have their bullpen up and working, and Tug McGraw is throwing down there. The batter will be Larry Parrish, who is 0 for 3 today. Twice a strikeout victim. Carlton today had 9 strikeouts. Eastwick taking a few practice tosses to make sure that he is okay. The 9 strikeouts for Carlton equals his season high, achieved in a route-going job against the Reds on May 11th. Parrish batting .268, a strong right-handed batter who has really come into his own. The pitch to him, it's popped up. Playable in the infield. Sizemore at second, right at the bag. Look out, Size. And he grabs it, almost tripping over the bag. Parrish pops out to Sizemore, second out of the inning. 2 down, here's Cromartie. Warren 2 out of 3 today, a single and a triple. Carlton picked him off first to end the first inning. Perez at first with 2 retired. The Giants still lead the Reds 2-0, their ball game in the 6th. Cardinals 1-0 over the Pirates. They're in the 6th. And that homer by Mercer stands at Shea as the Cubs lead the Mets 2-0 in the 6th. Cromartie ground ball on the right side, beyond the reach of Sizemore, who gave it a good try. That'll be a rolling single. Here goes the runner to third. Throw to third. Not in time. Perez makes it in. Perez slowed at second, then decided to go, and he made it.
Cromartie's been pulling a lot of balls in this series, and usually the defense will play him over towards left center field, and that's the way the defense keeps playing him. And that ball right there is going to be a routine ground ball to second for most left-handed hitters, but you have to go with the percentages and play him where he hits the ball most of the time. It just seems like this series he's pulled the ball more than we've ever seen him pull it.
Bob Boone back to the dugout for an equipment repair, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Here at 3:59 in the afternoon, this is News Radio in the Delaware Valley, KYW 1060 Philadelphia. It's sunny and now 91 degrees on Independence Mall.
Boone back to work with a new catcher's mitt. And the Expos now have the tying runs on base with 2 down. Gary Carter will be the batter. Carter has come out of his season-long slump in this series. He has hit 3 home runs, including one this afternoon, his 9th of the year. Coming into this series, Carter had not homered for about 6 weeks. Strong right-handed batter. 2 outs, 2 on. Phil's lead at 6-4. We're in the 8th. The stretch by Eastwick and the pitch to Carter. A slider misses, ball 1. San Diego 2, Atlanta 2 in the 5th inning. Houston leads the Dodgers 1-0. They're in the 2nd. Carter takes high, 2-0 the count. Tug McGraw continuing to pitch in the Phillies bullpen. The Expos have so many right-handed batters that you sort of lean toward right-handed pitching against them. The stretch by Eastwick. Here's the pitch to Carter. A drive to left field. Way back there. Out of here. A 3-run homer for Carter, and Montreal leads 7-6. Carter gets his 2nd home run of the ball game. It's the first home run that Eastwick has given up since he joined the Phillies, but it puts Montreal ahead now, 7-6, and no chance for Carlton to be the winner today.
You mentioned what happened with Gary Carter this weekend. Boy, he was overdue and has really been shooting balls out of this ballpark all weekend. And Eastwick got behind him 2-0 and threw the fastball right there, and Carter roped it out of here.
Here's Spire at the plate, and the pitch to him is low, ball 1. Number 10 for Carter, his 4th of the series. Boy, the Phillies were taking shots by Lee Mazzilli in New York, and now they run into Gary Carter's hot streak. A pop foul out of play by Spire. 2nd time in the ball game, the Expos have had 2 home runs in an inning. And this is the first Expo home run that has been hit with anybody on base. Next delivery to Spire is inside. 2-1 the count. Expos lead the game 7-6. Next delivery by Eastwick. Hard hit ball. Line drive base hit over the jumping Boa. Fielded by Luzinski in left center. Boa made a shot at that, but it was up over his head. And Spire has his first hit of the game. Stan Pappy still in the ball game. He's the 2nd baseman, and he will bat now out of the number 9 spot. Pappy doubled in his first at bat. Well, Larry Shank on the press PA announcing that we are seeing history here today. Not the kind you like to see, but here's a hard hit ball back to the middle. Boa field, shovels over to Sizemore in time for the out. This is the first time an opponent has had 5 home runs in a ball game at Veterans Stadium. for the Expos in the inning. 4 runs, 5 hits, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 7.5 innings, Montreal leads 7-6.
Chrysler LeBaron's
Phillies come to bat trailing by a run in this ball game, 7-6. We have seen 23 hits here today, and I haven't counted them, but I think the majority are extra base hits. Phillies down by a run. And incidentally, we misunderstood Larry Schenk on the press PA. That's the 5th time opponents have slammed 5 home runs in one game here at Veterans Stadium. The 5th time. Homers for Montreal today, 2 by Carter, and homers by Cash, Valentine, and Dawson. Bob Boone getting his first at bat of the afternoon. Boone hitting at .259 with 7 homers and 35 runs driven in. Pitch on the way to Boone is over for a called strike. Darrell Knowles, the left-hander, working for Montreal. He is their 5th pitcher of the afternoon. And he stands to be the winner if they can hang on. Here's a strike called. No balls and 2 strikes to Bob Boone. Seesaw battle. Both teams have had the lead inside a ball. Knowles has the sign. Here's the next pitch to Boone. Hard hit ball and right to the second baseman, Pappy. I believe Knowles, the pitcher, deflected that ball. I'm not sure. We'll see. At any rate, it was caught at second base by Pappy. What do you think, Chris?
No, I don't think so. Maybe he did. Yeah, they'll score it that way if he did. I don't know. I didn't know whether he touched it or not.
Boone is out on the line drive. The batter is Sizemore, 1 for 3. Size bends back from a pitch inside a ball. Here's Mike Schmidt out on the on-deck circle to bat for Eastwick. Schmidt has been used as a pinch hitter the last 2 days. Sizemore low and inside a ball. The 2-0 pitch to Sizemore is swinging a ball top foul to third, 1 strike. So the Phils will need some comeback runs here, but they are into the Montreal bullpen. Darrell Knowles, the pitcher in relief right now, his earned run average is a fine 2.13. Sizemore tops a ball toward the hole, but it's cut off by Parrish. He throws across in time for the out. Sizemore grounds out to Parrish. That's 2 down. And Mike Schmidt will get an at-bat. Last night, Schmidt was used as a pinch hitter, and he drew a walk. Schmidt is batting .248, 11 homers and 37 runs batted in. Schmidt has been out of the regular lineup now for 9 days with a hamstring pull. He is expected to be ready and be back Friday night when the Phillies open at Atlanta. The pitch to the right-handed batter, Schmidt. Ground ball to third base. Parrish has it. His throw is in time. Schmidt not running very hard to first base, and he is out. So the Phillies retired in the 8th as they go down 1-2-3, and at the end of 8, Montreal leads 7-6. Today, July 23rd, will be Poncho Day here at Veterans Stadium. All kids 14 or under will receive a free Phillies poncho when they enter the ballpark. A Phillies poncho is a tremendous inclement weather item and is brand new this year from the Phillies. That's Poncho Day, Sunday, July 23rd, when the Phillies play the Houston Astros here at Veterans Stadium beginning at 1:35. Tug McGraw will be the new Phillies pitcher. Tug, the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon, following Carlton, who worked 7+ innings, and Raleigh Eastwick, who worked the 8th. Left-hander Tug McGraw appearing in his 32nd ball game. He ties Ron Reed for staff leadership. Tug has won 7 and lost 3. Earned run average of 2.34. Should he pick up the victory today by any chance, he would tie Steve Carlton for staff leadership in the victory department. Darrell Knowles will stay in the ball game and lead it off for the Expos, batting out of the number 1 spot, and he takes low, ball 1. Left-handed batting pitcher Darrell Knowles at the plate. He is 1 for 3 this year. Tug's delivery is popped foul out of play. It'll be Knowles, Dawson, and Valentine to bat in the top half of the 9th inning. Now for the Phils, in the last of the 9th, they will be at the top of their order. Martin, Boa, Maddox. Delivery to Knowles is a breaking ball over for a called strike. One and two on Darrell Knowles, leading off the Montreal 9th. The Expos ahead 7-6. Strange ball game today here at Veterans Stadium, and Gary Carter has been the hero for Montreal. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Knowles strikes out. Here's Andre Dawson. He was the last batter that Carlton faced. Dawson led off the 8th inning with his 12th home run of the year, a solo shot, and Carlton was removed from the ball game. Dawson 1 for 4, right-handed batter. Breaking ball is outside, ball 1. Cardinals lead the Pirates 1-0 in the 7th. Reds have gone ahead of the Giants now. It's 3-2 in the 7th inning. Cincinnati. Ground ball to third. Hebner has it. Here's his throw. Perfect. 2 down. Heading for the plate, Ellis Valentine. Ellis 2 for 4. One of his hits a home run. The Expos with 5 home runs today, but it took the last one, number 5, to put them ahead. The first 4 came with the bases empty, and the Phillies still held a 6-4 margin. But then Carter came up with a 3-run shot. Low to Valentine, ball 1. Here's a little looper down the right field line. Could be trouble. It's going to fall safely for a hit. It one-hops into the picnic area, and that'll be a ground rule double for Valentine. Texas leaguer down the right field line, and a ground rule double for Ellis Valentine with 2 outs. Fourteenth hit of the ball game for Montreal. They have out-hit the Phils 14-10. Tony Perez, a 2 for 4 afternoon. Tony lined a base hit off Raleigh Eastwick's leg his last time up. And Tony's other hit was off Larry Boa's glove, so he's batting in good luck today. The set by Tug. Pitch to the veteran first baseman. Breaking ball very high, ball 1. Tug has his sign from Boone. Next pitch to Perez is high, ball 2. The Expos have gone down 1-2-3 in this ball game once. That was in the 5th inning when Carlton struck out 2 of the 3 men he faced. They're going to go ahead and walk Perez now. Tony will be given the intentional pass, and they'll deal with Parrish.
The reason for that is Tony Perez historically is one of the really good RBI men in baseball. And what you don't want to do here is give up that extra run and go into the 9th inning 2 runs down instead of 1 run down. Parrish is really an improved hitter, and he can get a base hit too, but you got to go with the percentages, and Tony Perez has always knocked in a lot of runs.
And that's the first walk issued today by Philadelphia pitching. Del Unser is going to go down to first base and run for Perez. Unser, the pinch runner at first. Cubs have added another run. And they lead the Mets now 3-0. They're on the 7th. Here's Larry Parrish. Set in the pitch by Tug, high, ball 1. Parrish 0 for 4 today. Carlton struck him out twice. Well, I guess they've started without me at the family picnic in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be a little late. Be sure and save some goodies. Here's a strike to Parrish.
You really going to Harrisburg?
You're really going.
All right, have a good time.
You want to do the 9th?
No.
A lot of people waiting for that, Chris.
Yeah, well, they'll just keep waiting.
Including your mother.
Probably the only one.
1 ball and 1 strike to Parrish. Hard hit ball to third base, fielded by Hebner. Will run up to the bag and make the unassisted play there. So the inning is over. The Expos do not get any insurance in the 9th inning. 1 hit and 2 men left on base. We go to the last of the 9th, and Montreal leads 7-6. Well, here we go to the Phillies' 9th inning, and the Phils have the right people coming to the plate. It's the top of their batting order: Martin, Boa, Maddox. And should they be successful, of course, it would be Luzinski, Cardinal, Hebner to follow. The Phillies are down by a run. Del Unser will stay in the ball game. He was pinch running for Perez. He will remain in and play at first base. Well, Chris, your colleague Larry Schenk has come up with a note of a record that the Expos have tied. It's a complicated one, so I'll let you deliver yourself of it.
Thanks a lot. Larry said that the Expos have tied a record for most runs in a game. What he means is that all the runs that the Expos have been scored by home runs and by no other means. So that is what that means. 7 runs in a game by means of home runs and no other way. It's really kind of an insignificant record, but you have to tie a record or break one. You got to tell everybody. But that one's so hard to say, you might as well forget it.
You want to go back and work on that?
No.
Here's Jerry Martin, 2 out of 4, single, double, and run driven in. Strike call. Left-hander Darrell Knowles still in there. It's obvious that Dick Williams wanted him in there to pitch this inning because he led off the top of the 9th for the Expos, and he did not pinch hit. Here's a ball chopped back through the middle. Going to be a tough play. Fielded by Parrish. Base hit. Jerry Martin legs out an infield hit, and the 9th inning is underway.
Now, Darrell Knowles is his best reliever right now. He's used up Garman. He's used up Bonson. He used up Jerry Pirtle early. And he's got Wayne Twitchell and the left-hander May left out in the bullpen. That's all. So unless he wants to go to a starter. And Larry Bowa, the batter now, and he will be up there to bunt.
Larry Bowa 0 for 4 this final day before his appearance in the All-Star game. Larry batting at .302. Knowles stretches. Here's the throw to first. Martin scampers back. Look out, Jer.
Almost picked Del Unser off that time, too. His first baseman, Del, was ready to start charging for the bunt, and Knowles threw over there, and he almost got him not looking.
Veteran left-hander sets, and here's the pitch to Bowa. He pops the bunt into the air. It's caught by Carter. Larry Bowa, one of the best bunters on the Phillies team, popped it into the air not more than 6 feet. Carter caught it in fair ground for the out.
Well, that'll take the bunt off right now, I would think. I don't see the Phillies sacrificing twice to put a man on second base with 2 outs. So Gary Maddox will get the swing away. They might try and put on a hit and run sometime in this count and get the runner down to second base, or let Martin try and steal the base. It's really unfortunate that Bowa would pop the ball up in that situation because, like Andy said, he'll usually get the ball on the ground and get the runner over.
Here's Maddox 0 for 4. A pitch on the way to Gary Lee, low and inside on a curveball, ball 1. Maddox has struck out twice today. The other 2 times he flied out. It's Montreal 7, Phillies 6. We're in the last of the 9th with 1 out and 1 on. Throw to first. Martin is back. Darrell Knowles showing a pretty good move to first base. And, of course, when a left-hander has the good move, he can be very dangerous. Here's another throw to first. Martin is back.
He's thinking right now about what we were talking about. Like the Phillies might put a play on, either a steal or a hit and run to try and get that runner down to second, something that they just failed to do. Knowles is going to make sure he keeps Jerry Martin close.
Here's the set and the pitch to Maddox. Ground ball top to third. It goes foul. Oh, it stayed fair 3/4 of the way down there and just ducked foul before Parrish picked it up. Apparently that ball was foul all the way as it hit off Maddox's foot. 1 ball and 1 strike on Gary Lee. Dick Ruthven is up and throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Well, we'll be seeing the Atlanta Braves and Gene Garber on Friday night. Remember to join us here on the Phil's Radio Network Friday at 7:30 for the next baseball action. Throw to first, Martin back. Gary Maddox batting in a very key spot. Here's the stretch by Knowles and the pitch. Swing and a shot to center field. Here comes Dawson. He can't get it. It gets beyond him. Martin will round second and go to third. Maddox into second. Runners at second and third. One out. He butchered that play. It was a line shot. He tried to get it, and it went beyond him.
Oh, Andre Dawson's a real good center fielder for the Montreal Expos, and he had that ball all the way, and he missed it, and probably be a two-base error on Dawson. It was not that easy a play, but a good outfielder like him, he made the instinctive break on it, and he was there, and he should have caught it.
Here's pitching coach Jim Brewer headed for the mound. Greg Luzinski due at the plate. They'll walk him almost for sure. No scoring decision yet. I wouldn't want to have to call that one, but I think you're right, Chris. It was hit hard. He had the play in front of him. He was ready to make the catch, and the ball hit off his glove and bounded away from him. Darrell Knowles is staying in the game. Well, they're scoring that a double. Shows what we know. That'll make Gary Maddox happy. At any rate, a double for Gary Maddox. Greg Luzinski to be walked, as we mentioned. Greg will draw the intentional pass. That will load them up for Jose Cardinal. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. The Montreal bus got lost the other night driving into Philadelphia. They had the radio on, and they were listening to you and me from Shea Stadium when Cardinal came up and hit the winning home run. Dick Williams was so mad at the bus driver. As Cardinal was standing at the plate, he says, if this guy hits anything, I'm going to attack the bus driver, and they had to hold him back. Well, here's Jose Cardinal, and if you think Dick Williams was upset then, wait till you see what happens if Jose comes through here.
The Expos are trying to figure out how they want him to play, and they're going to play back in double play depth.
Well, they are risking that if everything doesn't go right, the Phillies will tie the ball game. If they get to, they're out of it and they win. Bases loaded. Knowles to pitch from the stretch. The delivery, high and outside, a ball. Cardinal today is 2 out of 3, a single and a double. He has driven in a run. He walked his last time up.
Well, these fans are really excited right now, and they really help this team by yelling like this.
Knowles again ready to work. Stretching the pitch to Cardinal. High ball 2. Darrell Knowles is feeling what Bert Hooton felt here at the Vet in the playoffs last year. And the force is at work. 2-0, the count to Cardinal. Knowles set. Here's the pitch to Jose. Hard hit ball. Base hit. Here comes one run in. Maddox is being held at third base. It's tied. Throw to third. Maddox gets back. Base hit by Cardinal ties the ball game. 7-7. Bases still loaded. Still 1 out.
Another big clutch hit for Jose Cardinal. And Gary Maddox had to hold up on that play because it was a line drive, and it appeared that the second baseman, Pappy, might catch the ball. And he had to hold up on it. And once they did that, there's no way you run on Ellis Valentine, and he'd have been out from here to Manayunk if he'd have tried to score on that.
But here's the hero of the afternoon as things stood earlier. Richie Hebner with a pair of 2-run homers. Now the Expos are going to call everybody in. The infield is coming in, and the outfield is coming in as well, as Hebner goes to the plate. Hebner, 2 out of 3 today. Also was walked intentionally, but there's no room for him now. The stretch by Knowles. The pitch to Hebner. Swing and a shot. It's going to fall safely. That'll be a single, and the winning run scores. A fly ball by Hebner over Dawson's head. It'll be scored a single, and the Phillies win the ball game 8-7. A dramatic ninth-inning rally for the Phillies, and Hebner has knocked in 5 of the 8 Phillies runs. In the ninth for the Phillies, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 3 men left on base. Phillies win it 8-7. We'll have the wrap-up in a moment.
When you paint this year, select the paint that lasts longer. MAB Seashore House Paint. It gives you more years per gallon. In fact, it's the best paint you can buy. That's because MAB Seashore House Paint was especially designed for the harsh, rugged weather conditions on the shore, like wind, rain, sun, and especially salt air. So when it comes to painting your home, inside or out, think of MAB in the more than 300 MAB paint stores, dealers, and Rich Lux Home Centers. Bank AmeriCard and Master Charge accepted.
In 1977, the Phillies broke one of their club records that had stood for nearly 50 years, 186 homers in 77, easily smashing the 153 homers that set the 1929 record. And speaking of records, last year Lincoln Mercury sales set an all-time record. Look at Lincoln Mercury's lineup and you'll know why. Luxurious Lincoln Continentals to fun-to-run Mercury Bobcats. Your dealer has them all. Two great lineups for 78, the Phillies and your Lincoln Mercury dealer. Both are looking forward to breaking new records. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer's lineup now at the sign of the cat.
Wow, what a ball game at Veterans Stadium, and we'll have a couple of days to mull this one over because we are at the All-Star break, but boy, what a ball game to wind it up as the Expos hit 5 home runs here at the Vet today, but wind up losing it on ninth-inning explosions by the Phillies. And what a ninth inning, Chris, as the Phillies pull out the ball game with 2 big runs on RBI singles by Cardinal and Hebner. A wrap-up comment from you before we turn it over to Rich.
Yeah, and this is a heck of a way to head into the All-Star break to win a dramatic game like that. The pitching kind of fell apart a little bit today, but the offense came to life when the Phillies needed it late in the game. And on the scoreboard right now, Denny Lehman has just put up fans 1, Expos nothing. And like we were saying, when the fans were yelling, boy, they really can get this team going in a situation like that. And the fans started screaming, and Darrell Knowles got behind in the cap to Jose Cardinal and threw a pitch that he could handle, and then it was all over when Hebner came up and got his base hit. So great way to go into the All-Star break, and the Phillies keep their 4.5-game lead for sure in the National League East and be back in action Friday night in Atlanta.
Totals on the ball game. Phillies 8 runs, 14 hits, an error, and 9 left. The Expos 7 runs, 14 hits, no errors, and 7 left. The winning pitcher, Tug McGraw, who is 8-3, he ties Steve Carlton for staff high and wins. The losing pitcher is Darrell Knowles. He is 2-2. 5 home runs by the Expos, 2 by the Phillies. The 2 for the Phillies were both hit by Rich Hebner, who also had the game-winning RBI. What a ball game. Rich Ashburn will be on in just a moment. Jose Cardinal will be his guest. And we're going to award a case of Tasty Cake to this afternoon's winning pitcher, Tug McGraw, and one to St. Luke's and Children's Medical Center. Dave Toy has been our engineer for this afternoon's game. Our executive producer, Steve Silverman. Phillies baseball, a presentation of the Philadelphia Phillies. For Chris Wheeler, Harry Callis, and Rich Ashburn, Andy Musser saying so long from the Vet, where the Phillies pulled it out 8-7. This is the Phillies Baseball Network. Phillies baseball has been sponsored in part by Tasty Cake, whose cakes, pies, and cookies give you over 30 delicious ways to take a tasty break. Tasty Cake, all the good things wrapped up in one. And by your Coca-Cola bottler, who reminds you that Coke adds life to baseball and all your favorite sports. Enjoy it often. By Girard Bank, where George lets you be the banker night and day, every day. And by the people with the all-star lineup this season, your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. By Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser. And by Geno's, where you get the 100% sirloiner, Kentucky Fried Chicken, crispy fish, and make-it-yourself salad. You'll be feeling good at Geno's. By your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where you get Grand Slam deals on the most complete lineup of new cars in your area.
This is News Radio in the Delaware Valley, KYW 1060 Philadelphia. The top story of the hour, a crowd estimated by police as at least 50,000 has been rallying at the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, calling for an extension of the March 1979 ratification deadline for the proposed Equal Rights Amendment. Previously, thousands of demonstrators, many dressed in white and carrying suffragettes' banners from the turn of the century, marched to the building. More on this after the post-game show.
These days, not all German beer actually comes from Germany. The fact is, some supposedly foreign beers are now being brewed in some familiar American cities, which means you could be paying imported beer prices for a beer that's merely imported across state lines. So before you buy the beer, read the label closely. Granted, it may show off a fine German name, but it may also reveal that the beer was made in some all-American town. So is it really German beer, or simply an American beer with a German accent? We make Beck's beer, and we're happy to reassure you that Beck's is still brewed and bottled entirely in Bremen, Germany. And we say so right on our label. So when you drink Beck's beer in America, you can be sure you're drinking German beer and not just a German name. Check the label on your beer. Beck's, the leading German beer that's really made in Germany. Brought to America by Drybeck Importers of Connecticut.
And now Tasty Cake is proud to present the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show with facts and figures of today's game and an exclusive interview with the star of the game. So grab a Tasty Cake. There are more than 30 delicious kinds to choose from. Relax in your easy chair and get into the 1978 baseball season with Tasty Cake and the Phillies. All the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. All the good things wrapped up in one.
Back at Veterans Stadium, this is Rich Ashburn in a wild ball game here. The Phillies winning with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning by an 8-7 score. And our guest on the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show is Jose Cardinal, who knocked in that tying run after walking Greg Lazinski to load the bases in the 9th with 1 down. Jose coming through with a tying run, had an RBI earlier in the ball game. Jose, I don't think I've ever seen you play better baseball than you're playing with the Phillies this season.
Well, Rich, you know, when you play with a contender ball club and you feel happy, you know, you and people in the organization like the Phillies, they respect you. You know, you feel just like go, you know, to the field and do your best you can, play hard. And this is exactly what I've been doing since I came into Philadelphia. I just feel like, you know, I just forget about what happened last year, and then I just start to begin to play that Jose Cardinal that I know.
Jose, I was kidding you a couple days ago. You came over here, it looked like, to kind of play utility, you know, get in there once in a while and do some pinch hitting. But I guess every day you walk out in the clubhouse now, they got your name in the lineup.
Well, I know that when I came here to Philly, Rich, you know, I know that I'm supposed to be a part-time, and then I was happy to be a part-time ball player, you know. And now Smith is hurt right now, and I have a chance to play a little bit more right now because Richie has to play third there right now. But I know that probably next week when Smith is ready to play, you know, Richie going to go back to his old position. Then I'm going to try to begin to play again left Sunday only. I don't mind at all.
Talking to Jose Cardinal, let's check the action in this ball game, and what a game it was. The Expos started it off against Steve Carlton in the very first inning. Dave Cash, the leadoff hitter, and here's what happened. Cash swings and sends a long drive deep to left field. Luzinski watches that ball, sails on out of here. Dave Cash has hit his 2nd home run of the year, and the Expos jump out to a 1-0 start. And with 1 out in that first inning, Alice Valentine, who has had an unbelievable series here, he's been crushing the ball all over the place, hitting every game, 5 hits in 1 ball game, hitting home runs, knocking in runs, and Alice Valentine, the batter, with 1 down. Pitch to him. He reaches for a high outside pitch and gives it a long ride to right field. Way back, it is out of here. A home run for Alice Valentine. He reached way out of the strike zone, but he hit it a mile to right field, and the Expos lead 2-0. That made it a 2-0 lead, and in the Expos' 2nd inning, the leadoff hitter, Gary Carter, and Gary Carter was in a tremendous slump. When he came into this 5-game series, had not hit a home run in many a moon, and Gary Carter with a hot series, stepping up, leading off of the Expos in the 2nd inning. Carlton winds the 2-2 pitch to Carter. Ball hit well, deep to left field. Luzinski back on the track. Home run for Gary Carter, and that's a good example of why Carlton didn't want to face him with 2 men on base. Montreal leads 3-0. And the Phillies starting to fight back in that 2nd inning. Greg Lazinski led off the 2nd inning with a double. And then our guest on the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show here, Jose Cardinal, the batter.
Not
Schatzeder at the belt. And the 2-1 pitch to Cardinal. Line drive, left field, base hit, fair into the corner. Luzinski will be waved around. He'll score easily. Cardinal on his way to second with a stand-up double, and the Expos lead 3-1.
Jose, I believe that was a pitch in on you, and it looks to me like you really like that pitch in there.
Well, I was looking really for the ball, and low and inside, and I know we were 3 runs behind, and then I just got in mind to see if I can come out with a big shot, with a big blow, and then it can be only 1-run game. So I was looking for just to try to get a good pitch at one and try to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And that double made it a 3-1 ball game. The next batter, Richie Hebner, and here's what happened.
A long drive to right field, way back. It is gone. This ball game is tied.
That made it a 3-3 tie. Hebner having quite a game also. Richie with a couple of home runs and a game-winning hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. It was tied 3-3. That stayed that way until the bottom of the 6th inning. Cardinal again leading off that 6th inning with a base hit. And once again, Richie Hebner.
Here's Bonson's stretch. There goes Jose again. Swing and a high towering drive to deep right. Valentine away back. It's out of here. Home run, Richie Hebner. His second 2-run home run of the ball game. And the Phillies lead it 5-3.
A 5-3 lead. They made it 6-3 on a Jerry Martin single and an RBI also in that inning to make it 6-3. It stayed that way until the 8th inning. Steve Carlton still in the ball game for the Phillies as Andre Dawson, the leadoff hitter, in the top of the 8th.
Pitch on the way to Dawson. Very high fly ball deep into left field. This one is going gone. Oh, a mighty shot. It hit the facing against the upper deck. A home run for Dawson, his 12th. And the Expos are within 2 runs. It's 6-4.
A 6-4 lead for the Phillies with 1 down. Tony Perez singled. Larry Parrish was retired. Warren Cromartie, who had 3 hits in the ball game, also getting a base hit. 2 men on, 2 men out, and Gary Carter.
The stretch by Eastwick. Here's the pitch to Carter. A drive to left field. Way back there. Out of here. A 3-run homer for Carter, and Montreal leads 7-6.
That 3-run homer was hit off Raleigh Eastwick, who had come in the ball game for Steve Carlton, and it looked like for a brief moment that 3-run homer by Carter might have been a game winner. But in the Phillies' bottom of the 9th inning, Jerry Martin bounced a single high into the infield, legged it out easily. Larry Boa tried to bunt, popped it up. Gary Carter caught it with 1 down. Gary Maddox hit a line drive to center field that Dawson got his glove on. And, Jose, could you see that play? How much of a chance did Dawson have to catch that ball?
Well, I think Richard, and to me, it looked like he lost the ball a little bit because the ball was like a knee-high, line drive, and then it looked like he lost the ball, and some, or probably, right behind the home plate, a lot of fans, they see him, with white shirts sometimes, and it's easy for the outfield to lose the ball. So I think he lost the ball for seconds.
Well, Dawson didn't hold on to the ball. It got by him. Maddox got a double on that, sending Martin to third with 1 down. And then the Expos decided to walk Lazinski intentionally to get to our guest here, Jose Cardinal. And Jose, I think in defense of the Expos, that is certainly a percentage play to walk Lazinski.
Well, I think that, first base was open, and then probably they was looking for a double play, Rich, and, I was glad, I like to hit in a clutch situation most of the time, and then I know there were no's, and then I know the nose was ready to keep the ball away from me, so this is exactly what I did, and tried to go to the right side. I was hitting to the right side all the way.
And here's how Jose Cardinal did it with the bases loaded and 1 down.
Noel set. Here's the pitch to Jose. Hard hit ball. Base hit. Here comes 1 run in. Maddox is being held at third base. It's tied.
I think Maddox was sent and held up on his own. Did you see it that way?
No, I was running, and Probably they respect, Valentine, he got a good throwing hand, and they figured that Rich was right behind me, and probably, I don't know if the ability might stop Madden third base or not. I don't know what happened, but I know I hit the ball hard, Rich, and I don't know if he got a chance to score or not.
So Jose's single tied the game, and Richie Hebner, the batter, and here's what he did to the first pitch from Darrell Knowles.
Hebner, 2 out of 3 today. Also was walked intentionally, but there's no room for him now. The stretch by Knowles. The pitch to Hebner. Swing and a shot. It's going to fall safely. That'll be a single, and the winning run scores.
Well, Jose, great ball game. Nice going. Have a good all-star break, and we will, I guess, see you in Atlanta on Friday.
Okay, Rich, nice talking to you.
Thank you. Jose Cardinal, my guest, will be back with the Major League Scoreboard right after this word from Tasty Cake.
Tasty Cake is a day in spring, a brand new love or golden ring. Tasty Cake is the morning sun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one. Tasty Cake is the deep blue sea, a song they're singing for you and me. Tasty Cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
True Blue Phillies fans already know there never was a better baseball team than those fantastic Phillies. And True Blue Pie fans know there never was a better tasting packaged pie than Tasty Cake pies. Tasty Cake pies taste so good because we fresh bake them with real apples, cherries, peaches, and blueberries, with real lemon custard, too. Tantalizing Tasty Cake pies. Like the Phillies, they're all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
For visiting with us, Jose Cardinal will receive a gift certificate from Mitchell Daroff, 417 North 3rd Street in Philadelphia, the Rosemont Village Mall in Rosemont, and the Stockroom in Quakertown. Let's check the Major League scoreboard. The Cubs lead the Mets 4-1. They're in the 9th inning in Shea Stadium. It's Pittsburgh 6, St. Louis 1 at the end of 8 innings. Cincinnati 8, the Giants 2. They're in the 8th inning. Houston leads the Dodgers 1-0. They're in the 4th. Atlanta 4-2 over San Diego at the end of 7 innings. In the American League, it's Cleveland 7, Boston 1. They're in the 8th. The White Sox lead Toronto 5-1 in the 8th inning. It's Milwaukee 5, the Yankees 3 at the end of 6. Kansas City 10, Baltimore 3 at the end of 7 innings. Seattle at California 2-0. They're in the 2nd inning. So the Phillies here, after the All-Star break right now, have a 5-game lead in National League East, and we'll be on in Atlanta starting a short road trip on Friday night. Jose Cardinal, our guest on the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show. Dave Toy, my engineer. Chris Wheeler, my producer. We'll talk to you on Friday night in Atlanta on the Phillies Baseball Network. Hope you've enjoyed today's Tasty Cake.